Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm back, motherfuckers. How are we?
Woke me up.
Sweet. One, two.
We're on in 2 minutes. 2 minutes and we're on.
Thank you.
Minute 30. Stand by studio.
Boys.
Boys.
Hoorah!
Boys.
Is that printing money, that, John? Is that printing?
Yeah, get it down. Act of innocence each way in the Turner's Novice Hurdle. First race on Wednesday.
12 to 1. Woo!
Good each way bet that.
You having 50p on that? What are you doing there, Spence?
Show me the money. Show me the money.
Get 100 each way.
Oh, Johnny boy. He ain't messing. He ain't messing. Yeah? Yeah? Make that stream, baby. Make that stream.
Just saying, Ollie, your talkback's a bit low.
This face is too good for radio. Get it on the telly.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Ollie Hunter in the house. You know it, bro. Just about to put this big bird in the sky. Go
A
on.
little bit distorted now, but yeah.
Oh, he's
yeah,
here now.
yeah.
He's here.
Bit too much, Ollie.
Lady.
I'm going to get you when I come in that flaming studio, mate. You lovely little man. Yeah.
We are in Liverpool, where tonight we showcase some of the city's current boxing talent, headlined by the latest world champion. It's been 12 months since Nick Ball defended his title in front of his home crowd. And tonight might just be his toughest test today. Can the Scouser deliver once again? We'll find out right here on Fight Night Live. Sweet baby Jesus and the orphans, it is good to be back. We are in Liverpool for Fight Night Live on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. It is an absolute pleasure to once again be in your company to bring you some live fight action. Alongside me, as always, the one and only Mr. Gareth A. Davies and our illustrious commentary team of Spencer Oliver and John Rowley. Tonight, we've got a plethora of Scouse talent on show, of which we're going to be calling through several fights, all headlined by the world titleist, the featherweight king that is Nick Ball, taking on former world champion in 2 weight divisions, Brandon Figueroa. All set for an absolute cracking fight tonight to kick off our coverage in 2026, Gareth.
Delighted to be here with the A-team, of course, here ringside in the Republic, the province of Liverpool, Scouseland. They support their boxing like they do their football. I am really looking forward to this event tonight, which gets us cracking, Adam. Nick Ball's toughest assignment against Brandon Lee Figueroa since he beat Ray Ford to win the WBA title, when he should have held the WBC title, when he got a draw with Ray Vargas a couple of months earlier, both fights in Saudi Arabia. I, in my heart, want Nick to win tonight, but in my head, I picked Brandon Figueroa. He's a very difficult opponent, but Nick, to win this, must be ruthless, efficient, start fast early, and not show the failings of the performance against TJ Doheny, in which he didn't get going and adapt well enough. He's got the ability, but it's a very, very tough fight.
Indeed it is. Nick Ball undefeated through 24 fights, 23 of those wins with that one draw, as Gareth's just been highlighting there, with 13 coming via the way of knockout. He is the WBA featherweight champion, and we're doing quite well with world champions at the moment here in the UK, but he's the only one, male this is, to have defended his crown already. This tonight, his fourth attempt at defending that WBA championship since he picked it up a couple of years back. Figueroa, listen, he is no joke, a former two-weight world champion himself. The interesting thing for such a big guy at 5'9" is the punch output. Not only does he have a 73% knockout ratio, but the punch output averaging around 92 punches per round. It's all set to be sensational action, and he's got some brilliant wins on his resume as well, albeit some of these in lower weight divisions against Luis Nery, against Mark Magsayo and Jesse Magdaleno. He had a great performance last time out against Joey Gonzalez, a man that has taken several top fighters the distance, and Figueroa comes through. He's ranked very highly in a lot of the sanctioning bodies, and tonight, like I said, he's absolutely no joke for Nick Ball. I'm expecting all action, because Nick Ball isn't backwards in coming forward with the amount of shots that he throws, and Figueroa most certainly is not. Lots of action tonight.
When they meet in the close and mid-range, Nick is a brilliant close-range fighter. Obviously, he's only 5'2". He's always got height and reach disadvantages. Figueroa's 5'9", so you've got that 7-inch differential. But Figueroa, in some ways, if Nick can match him in the early rounds, I think it's a brilliant fight that he can take. I do think it'll be very close either way. But the great thing for Nick right now is that he's undefeated, he's at home, and Figueroa has lost twice, of course, in lower weight divisions to Stephen Fulton, who's only lost to Oshaki Foster and Noya Inoue. And what that segues to, right now, as you rightly mentioned, Nick Ball was the only flaming world champion we had at one point. That's men. We've now got 6 and 4 women, 10 flaming world champions. He's been the standout for 2.5 years, and he needs to show it tonight. I think if he wins in this fight, and Ring Magazine have got it as number 3 versus number 7 in the division, he's fighting his number 2 challenger in the WBA. He gets those other unifications, or maybe even better still, and we've been calling for this, the A-team, for 2 years, that fight with Noya the Monster Inoue.
You're speaking about the pocket rocket that is Nick Ball. Our own pocket rocket's ready to rock and roll. Mr. Spencer Oliver, how are you tonight, my man?
Very well, gentlemen. Looking forward to this one. Yet Nick Ball's been cool, calm and collected all week. He's looking forward to this. He's looking forward to this big challenge. And you're right in what you were saying there, guys. Brandon Figueroa is a tough opponent, a switch hitter. High output, 1,000 punches a fight he's been known to throw. You know, it's stylistically, what we can guarantee here tonight is fireworks. And that is facts. Nick Ball, at some point, will engage, because that's what he does. He has the quicker hands, quicker feet, maybe better boxing IQ. But Figueroa has the toughness, and he's competed at world level, like you say, 2-weight world champion, been there, seen it, done it, and this kid is tough, teak tough. It's a big test for Nick, this.
When it comes to world title defences, Spence, I think it's his toughest so far as a world champion, no doubt about that. And what I think we're going to have to see from him, and I want your expertise on this, is, listen, he's got this reputation of being a wrecking ball, coming in, big shots, loading up, trying to knock people out with every single shot. I think we're going to have to see a little bit of cuteness tonight. We saw it in the Isaac Dogby fight, if you remember. He tried to knock Dogby out early. It didn't materialise, then he had to get on his boxing. I think we're going to have to see a little bit of that this evening.
Yeah, that's a great example there. Isaac Dogby was a great former world champion himself, and he hurt Nick Ball a couple of times. And for me, that was the coming-of-age fight for Nick Ball. You know, that was the real test, the acid test. And another fight that comes to mind was the last homecoming, which was back in March against TJ Donaghy, back here, where he had to adjust, he had to adapt. Things weren't going well early for him, but he showed he had that adaptability, and in the end turned it around and got TJ Donaghy out of there, you know. And I think he's going to have to find something tonight for sure, because he's going to have to, you know, try a few different things. Yeah, he's going to meet Figueroa head on, but that may not work early on. You know, he may have to just sort of chip away, move around, work the angles, you know, sit in the pocket. He's got the quicker hands of the two, and that's what he needs to do. Use the footwork well, control the space well, and not allow Figueroa to draw him into a dogfight early.
We've got the best of the rest as well coming. John Rowling, if I can bring you in for a sweet second, my friend. Of course, we're going to be calling through many, many fights. What's jumping off the page away from the headline act tonight for you?
Well, we've got a load of talented Liverpudlian fighters. We've got Brad Strand, who's going to be first in, who's only got 2 defeats in 15 fights. Andrew Kane, who's a rising star of the Everton Red Triangle gym. Jack Turner, who's just a terrific puncher. I think he might be the most exciting performer of the night. Andrew Kane might, within a world title eliminator, have most to gain. But like the other guys, I'm really looking forward to Ball and Figueroa, because I think as a style fight, I don't really see that it can fail, Adam.
And there's a man that's in a million fights, and he's very rarely wrong. It's going to be an absolute cracking main event. But I'm glad that John just highlighted Jack Turner. I mean, this is a guy that we've been high on for a little period of time. Let's just stress this. We're talking about a super flyweight, all right, that has had 13 fights, and he's knocked out 12 of his opponents. Of course, the step-up's going to come along the way, but there's going to be talk soon for this young man to start mixing with some company that we've heard of previously, the likes of the Charlie Edwardses of this world and those types of characters. We know who the king of this division is in Bam Rodriguez. I'm sure he's got aspirations of trying to get there one day, and he might be a year or so away from it. But there's something very special bubbling in Liverpool with Jack Turner.
Yeah, and I think we've been live at 3 or maybe even 4 of his fights now, and he's got that choir boy about him. He's a very quiet young man. I've been doing the post-fight interviews with him. Obviously, he's an absolute... We talk about Nick Ball being a wrecking machine. This kid is the smashing machine, if you like. He's so quietly spoken. He's a beautiful young man, and yet he goes in there and he wrecks. And we've seen him grow in personality as well in the last couple of fights. I am so excited. We will watch his growth towards world level from here.
You can hear in the background Thomas Tribe is just about to make some ring introductions for our first fight, which we're going to be calling you through here on talkSPORT 2 in a moment or two, between Brad Strand and Ruben Lezama Gonzalez. And around about 9 o'clock this evening, we are going to be crossing over to talkSPORT, where we are going to be bringing you that Jack Turner fight, and then, of course, the main event between Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa. There is another option for you, because obviously Gareth A. Davies is not just for radio, he is for your visuals as well, and you need to see him this evening doing his thing on the watch-along. You can get that on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That is available for you now. Please like and subscribe on that channel. Lots of interviews throughout the whole course of the week from the guys being up in Liverpool and everything that's happened in the talkSPORT studio, of which we're going to be talking about. So after this fight, we're going to have a little break from the action, and we're going to get stuck into all the major talking points from the world of boxing this week, one of which being Deontay Wilder's visit to talkSPORT Towers, which I'm sure you want everybody's opinion on. There's lots of fights that are being made, lots of fights that are being rumoured, heavyweight division as well, what's happening with Daniel Dubois, what's happening with Fabio Wardley. We're going to get stuck into all that throughout the course of tonight, and then of course we will be bringing you ever closer at around about 10:15 this evening with Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa doing their thing over on talkSPORT. Something special about Liverpool on a fight night, isn't there? You know what I mean? You said it at the start here. This is a city for football, for music, and for fighting, and they do all three brilliantly.
It's early in the night. We've already got brilliant support in here. It was lovely walking in, getting in the Pullman Hotel, parking, jumping into the arena, meeting loads of fans on the way in. They're big fans of talkSPORT as well. Stopped about 5 or 6 times. They are really excited. They support their own here. That's why we're in the Republic of Liverpool and why we're flying tonight.
It does feel like this new generation's coming through, Spence, but you've been spending a little bit of time with the guys that set this base for these guys, the likes of the John Contes, for example. You've been catching up with him this week.
Yeah, it was great to catch up with John Conte earlier. Obviously, he is the godfather of Liverpudlian boxing. You know, he was the pin-up boy, you know, back in the 70s, and had a hell of a career, he really did. And, you know, it was good to catch up with him. He come on talkSPORT talking about those days and how well boxing's going now in Liverpool with this new surgence of great fighters coming through. But Jack Turner is the kid that excites me. You know, yesterday at the weigh-in, yeah, he is like a little choir boy, but I saw the red mist come over. He's got the devil in him, this kid. 12 of his 13 inside the distance. 6 in the first round, 2 in the second round. Don't blink with that one.
Also on this, I know that we're talking about fighters quite a lot here, but it's also nice to highlight trainers coming through this city as well. Obviously, Stephen Smith has been a fantastic fighter himself. Obviously, we know what he achieved as a professional fighter, but he's now stepped into the world of training and he's becoming a serious coach.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Smith, Swifty Smith, training Stephen Clark, who I think won earlier on points, his first 8-rounder. Paul Smith managing him. You listen, they are the boxing Beatle brothers of Liverpool, and they'll always be involved in the sport. Obviously, Paul is a part of talkSPORT, and I believe he may join us later tonight. Well, I've looked on here anyway. It says GAD and Paul. That must be Paul Smith. So, look, it's great to be up here. I want to say a little word, and we'll talk about it a lot tonight. The Everton Red Triangle, Albion Street Gym. Obviously, Paul Stevenson, 50 champions in the UK he's had. It's an extraordinary achievement with so many. Andrew Kane, Peter McGrail, the Olympian, Nick Ball. I want to get a word with Paul on the show tonight because he doesn't talk about himself enough. This 100-year-old club in Everton.
It is absolutely flying. So that's how it's shaping up tonight. Brad Strand is in the ring at the moment. We're going to get you through to that fight with Spencer and John in a moment or two. We'll get stuck into all the hot topics when it comes to the world of boxing. Then we're going to be bringing you Andrew Kane's fight against Alejandro Gonzalez. Then we've got Jack Turner doing his thing. This is going to be over on talkSPORT 1. He's in against Juan Carlos Martinez Urbina. And then we've got Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa in the main event. Here's your final instructions for the first fight of the night.
Okay, boys, both know the rules. Want you to obey my command. Tell you to break clean. Defend yourselves at all times. Quiero una pelea limpia. Protect and tend todo momento. Touch gloves. Good luck, boys.
Love that from Mike Lyson. A little bit of Scoushergeese there to give the instructions out. Top stuff. One of the best referees in the business, no doubt about it. Right, here we go. You're live on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Boxing Network. So let's get stuck into Brad Strand and Ruben Lezama Gonzalez. Calling you through this fight, Spencer Oliver and John Rowling.
Well, let's see how Brad Strand can go here, because another defeat and he would be, I think, struggling to find his way if he really has serious aspirations to get to the top. He's had a loss against Dennis McCann, currently sidelined after his drug infringement. Yonat Baluta, who is a real tough Romanian, no disgrace there. But if he were to lose to this man, Ruben Gonzalez, a tough lad from Mexico, but somebody with 6 defeats in 27 fights as a professional on his record, Strand should be able to account for him.
Yep, he should be able to account for him, but he has to be careful with someone like Ruben Gonzalez, who sees this as a big opportunity. 11 of his 12 wins, John, have come inside the distance, which tells you this kid can whack, but has lost 2 of his last 3, and they've been inside the distance. So, yep, all to fight for here for Brad Strand.
I sort of thought, is there a possibility here for a bit of an educated little bet on this one earlier in the week? Had a look at it, and I thought better of it, because Strand at that stage was 16-1 on, and the bookies don't often get it too wrong.
No, well, as I said, 2 of Gonzalez's last 3 have come inside the distance and not in favour of himself. So maybe a little decline there, or a little dip in form for sure. And this really is about a confidence builder for Brad Strand, who has at one time talked about as a big prospect. Boxing in front of his home city is always great to do. We've got a pretty full house here, somewhere in the region of 7,500 in the M&S Arena tonight. Brad Strand, I know, has brought a good crowd with him, so he's going to want to please here as he lets a 1-2 left hook go right above us.
Fairly quiet opening round, this one, scheduled to go 8. Gonzalez, physically the smaller man, he's winging in 1 or 2 speculative hooks, but when they get inside at closer range, the crisper work, the more accurate work, looking as though it's coming from Strand.
Yep, Strand on the front foot, just looking to hunt his opponent. Gonzalez down, throws a lovely uppercut, sends the hair flying up in the air, and Gonzalez didn't like that one little shake of the head there. I think he felt the effects of that, John.
I'm sure he did. And we've only been going 45 seconds so far in this opening round here, and Gonzalez will need to land something of note, and land it fairly soon, if he's going to get the respect of Strand, who's just walking forward and looking to plant solid hooks. He got in with a good left hand just before I started that little analysis, and he looks as though he's the one with the greater weight of punch.
Yep, less than 20 seconds to go now in this opening round, and it's been all Strand. He's been stalking forward, hunting his prey. Gonzalez is sort of negative already. Lovely 1-2, and the left hook go to the body there as well, and Gonzalez can just cover up as we hear that 10-second clacker.
Really is a very, very slight figure, Gonzalez. The bell goes to end the opening round, and I think Gonzalez made his way back to his corner in a slightly feeling sorry for himself kind of way, and I think the first round most definitely went to the Liverpudlian.
Yep, I agree with that, John. There was a slow, ponderous look around Ruben Gonzalez as he walked back to that red corner, wasn't there? Gum shield was half hanging out, and you just see him maybe asking himself questions after the first 3 minutes, and you look over into the opposite corner, Brad Strand, and he's up on his toes. The team seem very happy with it as well, and he wants to get on with this next round. He wants to build now on the success of that first round, and I'll tell you something, John, I don't think we're too far away from seeing the end of this contest. The way Strand ended that round, the way Gonzalez walked back to that corner, this could be over in the next round or two.
I think body shots are the key, and I got the feeling that he hurt him with a few. I was interested to hear Gareth saying he wanted to speak to Paul Stevenson before the night was out. Well, he doesn't talk a lot about himself, but the other fighters, when you ask them about him, they all talk to the organisation, the way the gym is run. If you go up there, it is spotlessly clean, and I tell you, nobody takes liberties.
No, absolutely, you know, and success builds success, and Paul Stevenson's got a great gym going there, and as we said, you know, sort of resurgence at the moment, Liverpool boxing, it really is, you know, we've had that time, that era with the Smith brothers, Callum Smith obviously still going, and looking for a shot at David Morrell sometime in that near future, looking forward to seeing him there, but yep, Liverpool boxing at the moment is flying, and there's a young fighter here in Brad Strand who's doing pretty well in this contest against Ruben Gonzalez as he lands a lovely combination.
28 years old is Brad, and he's picking his punch as well in the early stages. As in the first round, there was a fast start from Gonzalez, but then it's almost as though he's punched himself out, and now doing little more than just covering up, wanting to invite Strand in and maybe try and catch him with a fast counter as he does so, as he goes looking for hurtful body shots. Strand, though, not being over enthusiastic about rushing in. He's trying to pick his shots. Now he does get in with two solid body shots, and Gonzalez gives a bit of ground and takes a solid right hand through the middle between the high-held guard, and Strand is just outboxing him here.
Yeah, Gonzalez just shook his head there, a little nod of appreciation as a big right hand left hook goes in again, and Gonzalez is left stuck on the ropes, covering up with little or nothing coming back at the moment, misses wildly with a left hook, but this is all Brad Strand here in the second round.
A bit of blood coming from the left nostril of Gonzalez, and the power most definitely lies with Strand. Oohs and ahs from his corner as he gets in with a big right hand and then an accurate left hand, both finding their way through the guard of Gonzalez, who tries to throw a left hand, but again, it was more in hope than expectation. He's caught by a right uppercut and a left hook, and he sinks back onto the ropes, now gets back to centre ring, tries to put it onto Strand, but Strand covers up well and spears him with two accurate left-hand leads and another one.
Yep, 30 seconds of the second round remaining, and it's all been Brad Strand again as he lets a short right uppercut go that sends the sweat spraying from Gonzalez's head, and Gonzalez trying to find something from somewhere, but unfortunately it's all a bit reckless, John, and he looks in trouble here, Gonzalez. Little but nothing left.
It doesn't look as though he's got the power to really seriously affect Strand either, who comes forward trying to throw a big right hand. It was well off target, but then doubles up on the left jab. Referee steps between them, and for the second time, that was a very clear round to 28-year-old Brad Strand.
Yep, slowly, systematically breaking Gonzalez down, shot by shot. He's chipping away. We know these Mexicans, they're tough and they take some beating, but he's doing a good job with the shot selection. Strand working well to the head, keeping it at long range, and when he does get on the inside, he's throwing lovely shots, short range, little right uppercut, switching the left hooks to the body as well, and poor old Gonzalez is on the end of a lot of punishment here. 2 rounds gone, and 2 rounds to Brad Strand.
Going well, absolutely. This is our first fight here on talkSPORT 2, and the main event coming up on talkSPORT at 9 o'clock. is going to be the world title fight, which is coming up sometime after 10 o'clock, which is Nick Bull in action against Brandon Figueroa. A real action-packed card coming up on both channels. We switch over to the main channel at about 9 o'clock, and we've got the firecracker young super flyweight Jack Turner in action first, and then coming up sometime after 10 o'clock is our main event.
Yep, really looking forward to that one. Jack Turner is the new hot property here in Liverpool. High hopes for him, and we've got an absolute barn burner as well for a final eliminator for the WBC bantamweight title. Andrew Kane goes in against Alejandro Gonzalez, and what a fight we've got for you there.
Could be very good indeed. And again, a fast start in this third round from Gonzalez, but then he almost seems to punch himself out in that first 40-second flurry, and it allows Strand now to settle back into a rhythm and rely on his boxing to get himself into range. He's outlanding Gonzalez, he's landing bigger punches, and he really hurts him with that body shot, and he knows it. He sagged over Gonzalez, and now Strand's looking to finish it, and the towel's come in. The referee's not seen it, but the towel has come in from the Mexican corner, and it is all over. He's still not noticed it. Now he does, and he's waved the fight all over. It has to be the referee who ends the fight, not the corner, but Gonzalez corner saw that wicked body shot from Brad Strand, and Strand picks up what amounts to a pretty significant win.
Yeah, what a shot that was. All started from a wicked left hook that went into the rib cage of Gonzalez. You saw him bend over, folded him like a deck chair there. There was real grimace in his face. The towel come in, and the referee took some 20 seconds to see that towel. To his fairness, though, I think that was because we had Brad Strand pinning Gonzalez in the blue corner. He was letting some shots go. The referee was looking for the right time to jump in until someone signalled the towel had gone in, and the fight was over. What a good win there from Brad Strand against the tough, rough Mexican in Ruben Gonzalez. You'll be pleased with that one.
Oh, that was a terrific left hand that he brought up into the rib cage of Gonzalez, and you could see the Mexican fair wince with pain.
Yeah, you could hear it slap into the rib cage. It sounded like a popping sound. I don't know if he'd done his rib or what, but it was like something slapping into the side of it. It was had a real effect, and he bent over in half, and he was in desperate trouble. And Brad Strand sensed that, piled on the pressure, kept him in the blue corner, whipping in the hook, short uppercuts, switching the attacks to the body again. And then the referee had called it over. Great win there for Brad Strand. Back on track. He derailed against Baluta, against Dennis McCann, but has now put himself back in the mix.
He's got some talent, hasn't he? And I see Gareth's gone rushing away, perhaps looking for a word with the man, but he's disappeared anyway. He likes to know what's going on at ringside. He'll be talking to everybody. He's having a word with the referee. In fact, he's hugging one of the referees right now.
Yep.
You have to feel sorry for these guys at times, don't you?
You certainly do. When the big gad gets hold of you, you're in trouble, that's for sure.
Just waiting for Gonzalez gloves to be taken off in his corner. Doctor wanted to make sure he was okay.
Ladies and
Here's
gentlemen,
Thomas
here
Schreiber.
is the official time. 1 minute, 24 seconds of round number 3. The red corner retires their fighter, and our referee in charge, Mark Lyson, accepts their retirement. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, Brad Strand.
Punch perfect from Brad Strand, getting the job done in the third round. Fantastic little finish here in the M&S Bank Arena. Plenty still to come here on talkSPORT. Make sure you stick with us.
Strand, congratulations. A stoppage win here tonight. Try and sum up how you're feeling.
Yeah, they made up. Fans in my own city, so that I made up.
Took me through the end of that fight. There seemed to be a body shot in there that started everything.
Yeah, I landed a nice left with the body here. I thought he was going to go, so I was just following him, and then he stayed up just so far to the Mexicans, but obviously it was a bit of a mad one because I was landing a few clean ones, and after there they were like shouting, thinking, what are they screaming at me for? But he was shouting at the ref because the towel from it, so yeah, I made up.
Yeah, the towel was on the floor. I think everyone was kind of pointing at it. But great start to the year for you. It feels like 2026. This is the year for Brad Strand, right?
Yeah, no, you can get that business title, but obviously the next fight I want any title fight. And even super bouncing weights. I was meant to fight those guys who pulled off for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but I'm ready for any more fights, any super bouncing weight.
It's a big night for your gym in this city as well. How much do nights like this mean to you, Brad?
Well, everything, like, you know, we all grew up as kids dreaming of nights like this, and thanks to Frank and especially Rick for giving me nights back, but after the TKOs for the our team, I'm going for clean sweep 5 and over 5 KOs.
Congratulations, Brad.
One.
Yeah, man, we've upgraded him. What's he doing? Cheers, boss.
No one wanted to talk to him.
Somebody will recognise me.
We're in Liverpool tonight for Fight Night Live across the talkSPORT network. I'm Adam Catterall, pleasure to be in your company. Brilliant win a moment or two ago for Brad Strand. Still to come, of course, the main event this evening as Nick Ball takes on Brandon Figueroa. That's going to be taking place on talkSPORT 1 after 9 o'clock, so make sure you remember to switch over if you listen to us on the radio. If you're consuming us on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, you can see that we've just upgraded Gareth A. Davies. Gareth normally sits alongside me. We've just sent him into the crowd to go and find some familiar faces to stick the microphone in front of. But a man that I'm sure that if you've been glued to your television screens recently will be very, very familiar to you. I'm absolutely heartbroken, as is my daughter, that he didn't win it because he figured it all out. It is the man from the Traitors, Boaz Noor. How are you, man?
I'm good, mate. You? And it's still Gareth. I've just had a haircut, that's all.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, quick little trim.
You've got a better accent as well now, pal. You've upgraded it from that northeast. Listen, how are you finding everything off the back of the telly? I mean, what an experience to be on the Traitors.
Oh yeah, mate. I was a big fan of the show, so I love the experience, and then coming off the back of it, I've absolutely loved it. All the perception's been really positive and stuff, so being class, yeah.
How are you reflecting on it now, right? Because you knew.
Yeah.
You knew. The whole thing, you'd sewn it up about 4 weeks to go, mate.
I know, I timed it right as well. Timed it at the end, the sprint finish, I must have tripped over, and I was no good, man. No good. All that hard work, all fat, no poo, wasn't I really?
Listen, when you get in a scenario like that, it must be the most bizarre environment to be in, because one, you've met a lot of new people, you're kind of building relationships and being matey with you, and then you've got to kind of remember, I'm actually on a game show here.
No,
Where I've got to read half of this lot because they're all after dough that I want.
100%, when there's like 50 grand at stake as well, you know what I mean? So you have to detach your emotions from the game and remember, I am playing a game. I only met these people like 3 weeks ago, so it is hard finding that balance, but game's a game, innit?
Spence, you were all over it, weren't you, pal?
I'm always all over it, mate. So are the girls indoors as well. Just sent Nicola the picture, actually, so she'll be fuming now she didn't come up with us, but yeah.
Mate, I'll be honest with you, right? My daughter knows what I do for a living. The only person she's asked me to get a selfie with is him. Of all the people that we knock about with in the world of fight sports, she said to me, Dad, before you come home tonight, you make sure you speak to the main man.
You know what? It sounds like you raised a good girl there. She must be a sharp cookie. Must be a sharp cookie, Adam.
She's switched on. Listen, you're a massive boxing fan, that's why we're here tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can talk all night about the traitors. Tonight, main event, Nick Ball against Brandon Figueroa. How are you seeing it, mate?
Well, you know what? I haven't seen much of Figueroa myself, but I've seen he only lost to Stephen Fulton, so obviously very, very good. It'll just be how Nick Ball sort of gets through that height distance and how he works his way in and stuff, but you know what? He's like pressure on pressure on pressure, so I don't think he'll struggle with that. Just seeing if he chops the tree down.
It'll be basically like you taking on Spencer Oliver, mate. That's where it is. See, Spence can get on the inside of that jab.
Oh, not a lot of people might not know this, but this young man has boxed before. He's had, what, 6-7 hours to fight?
Six bouts, yeah, six bouts.
So he knows what he's doing, mate. You've been up that part of the world in Middlesbrough, Newcastle, all round there. They're tough, man. They breed them tough.
Listen, are you claiming Josh Kelly as one of your own now? Like, I know he's Sunderland.
No,
listen, you've got a North East world champion now, man. You've got to claim him.
Yeah, 100%. And I tell you what, for all the talent and the class that Kelly is, I'm just so happy to see him win a world title because it's been years in the making, really. So it's nice to see him realise it.
Who do you want to see him fight next?
I don't know, you know, there's big fights out there for him. There's big fights out there. So I reckon maybe like what weight is he again? What weight is he?
154. Listen, there's a couple of unifications there that are obvious, like Xander Zayas, for example, who's the WBO and WBA champion. He picked up a couple of belts last week. But I'll be dead honest, right? Josh Kelly's time now is to try and cash in and get that stadium fight at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland. That'd be fantastic for him. I'm not against him fighting Conor Benn, mate.
Mate, I tell you what, I think he does Conor Benn me. I genuinely do think, right, he's too skillful for Ben. He's too skillful for Ben, and I don't think Ben well, does he hit as hard as Avenetian does when he stopped him, you know what I mean? So, but I think Kelly is a lot more skillful than Conor Benn is, and I think will he just start to stay sharp for all them 12? That's a reason.
I think it sells big, that, in the UK.
Yeah.
Josh Kelly versus Conor Benn.
I totally agree, mate. I don't think that Conor Benn does 147. I know that's their target and that's what they're going to do, but it's all right making the weight, but it's maintaining that strength, stamina, staying power, and I don't think he does. I think moving up to 160 and staying there for as long as he did, he won't be able to come back down. 154 is there, and you look at it and you go, yep, Conor Benn, Josh Kelly, perfect fight. Sells any stadium, that fight. You could even go down here, Tottenham, possibly even Wembley with that, because there'll be a lot of noise around that one. And you go, what's the other options? Does he go all in? Does he go for Boots Ennis? Does he go big? Does he go early? Because I heard something, I saw an interview, right, with Eddie Hearn, and he was saying, well, you know, there is options there, and like, you know, Boots Ennis was that guy, but we was looking at maybe possibly other options, and I'm going, surely you don't put him in with Boots Ennis.
I know.
Because that's a short reign. That's because Boots Ennis is elite level. That's like, you've got to let him grow into the championship level, you know. Like, I think he's had a great win. Let's build on that.
Spencer, listen, man. We are no longer in the realm of having them easy title defences. We're seeing it tonight. Nick Ball's got he's got his hands full with Figueroa. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, set the best fights. I think there's a great British selling one with Conor Benn, and I think if he can get a unification with Xander Zayas, that's not an easy task. Take that on. But Boots Ennis, as you said, is the top of the tree. That gets Josh Kelly a trip to America, man.
Yeah, but if you're looking at the commercial value of this, you go Conor Benn.
You're a businessman, aren't you?
Conor Benn is the money fight, like.
But it's the money fight, and you go, but what's the harder fight? Boots Ennis, and you're going to get half the money for that. Let's say he gets $5 million to fight Boots Ennis and $10 million to fight Conor Benn. It's no brainer.
It just depends what the goal is, yeah. Depends what the goal. Do you think Josh Kelly backs himself to beat Boots Ennis? That's what it is, really.
He probably does.
He does, yeah. I'm sure he does. But like, that's a tough fight.
Listen, Have you seen his debacle this week with Deontay Wilder?
Oh, honestly.
He's lucky I never got up, mate.
Clenched fist in the seat, weren't you? Clenched fist in the seat.
I never recognised it, but you said you did.
I spotted it. I saw the old fighter there. It started to come out. The old hairs on the back of the neck started to stand up when Deontay was kicking off.
When Deontay started like crying with rage, and then I recognised, get your head down, Spence. Just start scrolling, son.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like looking at Simon. I go, right, he's my mate. I'm looking at Deontay, looking at Simon, looking at Deontay, and I go, sorry, Simon. You're on your own, mate.
Yeah. Listen, Franz, top man, I appreciate your time on the show, mate. Hopefully, don't be a stranger.
100%.
Let's make this a little bit more of a regular thing. You obviously know what you're doing. Let's get amongst it.
Definitely, Adam, mate. Love
top
it.
man, and congratulations on everything that you did with the traitors as well, mate.
Adam. Nice one, Spence.
Listen, whilst Faraz is making way for Gareth A. Davies, do stick with us. Check this out from this week. We've just been making the reference to the Deontay Wilder situation at talkSPORT this week, where he was on Talk Boxing with Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver when this happened. The full Deontay Wilder visit to talkSPORT is available on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. One man that is familiar with a Deontay Wilder reaction. I remember us being in Los Angeles a few years back in the build-up to his first fight with Tyson Fury, and he reacted towards a few questions that you threw his way, Gareth. What did you make of that this week from Deontay?
Well, I've been through that hairdryer treatment, haven't I, 7 years ago, 8 years ago now, and, you know, I'd been with him in Alabama in his training camp with Jay Diaz and all the guys down there in the Black River in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Deontay has issues about race, and you know, he's from Alabama. There was a big divide in that part of America, and without going into race right now, he veered off to one side. That's what his issue was with me and other journalists when we let Fury off for being a drunk and taking drugs and coming back from 2 years away. He said if I'd been a black man and I'd done that, I wouldn't get the same sympathy that Fury was getting. I think he is a little bit broken over the fact I think he lost all 3 fights to Tyson Fury, even though the first one was a draw. I'm fascinated to see the documentary he's made. It made for great TV in the week. Simon prods and poked, as doesn't he, the Cape Crusader, and he makes storylines in boxing. He doesn't have the same skin in the game that a lot of us have, where we have to be sensitive at times because we need strong relationships with these people. But I've had no doubt that they'll sit down over a cup of tea soon and be best mates, like Simon is with Derek Chisora, and they've made friends over time. They still have a pop at each other. It's great TV. It was great for talkSPORT. Deontay was calm 20 minutes later. I hear there was a lot more ranting and raving that didn't go into it. But the point being, it sold the fight between Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora. And if he has got issues with Tyson Fury over those second fights, we will see them in the documentary. Fascinating week.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can tell Deontay Wilder how he should or shouldn't feel regarding race issues, but let's be dead honest about it. The race issues were initiated by him in that conversation. Simon did not do that whatsoever, but I personally thought that Simon was well within his rights to ask questions to a subject about the things that subject had said about Tyson Fury. And Deontay Wilder's well within his rights to answer those questions, not to answer those questions. The reaction tells me that he's not at peace with the defeats to Tyson Fury. There's something still there that is disturbing him very, very deeply.
Well, the floppy gloves is something that disturbs him. I'm fascinated to see what he's found out in the within the documentary about that. I think the white privilege thing, it didn't make any sense to me in the whole argument. That was a strange area to go into. I don't think Tyson Fury was deliberately given advantages against Deontay Wilder. I was at all three of those fights, like all of us here in the A-team were, and we worked them. The commission sits there when the hands are wrapped, they inspect the gloves. It's Las Vegas, it's Los Angeles. They're very experienced commissions. I think the beginning of the end for Deontay Wilder was that second fight against Tyson Fury, when he got badly beaten up, where he blamed his team, Mark Breland and others, Jay Diaz and others, and he was unsettled from there onwards. We saw him, Spencer and I spent a week around him in Dubai, and he was in fantastic form with Rampage Jackson, Shannon Briggs and Derek Chisora, the four big characters, weren't they, from the Dubai week with the IBA. And Deontay has got his mojo back. What I fear for him, Adam, when he steps into that ring, and I think it will sell at the O2 Arena, I think they will sell it out, they're both icons in many ways, is that he ain't going to be much better than he was against Zhilei Zhang and Joseph Parker. And Derek's been very, very sneaky and subtle all week, making best friends with him while pushing the tissues across in the studio, while buying him fish and chips. Derek's in his head.
Here's a question for you, Spencer. You were in the room, right? Does the bronze bomber still exist?
Great question, and a simple answer for me there. Now, I saw the bronze bomber come out because historically he's been like that, very erratic in the past, talking about putting people in body bags and saying things that are well out of turn and well out of place. It was very strange behaviour because, like you say, and I agree with it, Simon was within his rights to ask him about Tyson Fury. He clearly didn't want to talk about Tyson Fury. He turned it then into a race row and talking about, you know, slavery and white privileges and all that sort of stuff. That was fine. So like, he went way off track there and we didn't quite know where it went. He went upstairs, what people didn't see, and he was raging even more, crying with rage. Then he left the building. Derek Chisora then left, come down, finished the show, bizarrely enough. We finished the show, then Derek goes out, leaves with him, meets him outside. They go over to Borough Market, and he had fish and chips for the first ever time. And it was bizarre. And then like 10 minutes later, they're walking across the bridge, having a chat, having a laugh. So now I've got to go to the press conference 3 hours later. I've got a great relationship with Deontay Wilder, but obviously we've got him on the show, and I'm in the room, and I'm thinking, I don't know what the response is going to be here. A little bit nervous because you saw the way that he was there. The old Oman was loosening up a little bit, getting the old, just in case he's got to get the old head moving, slipping, sliding, you know what I mean? A little bit of the old footwork coming back into play.
It was all that running away.
All that going on. Yeah, exactly, getting me running trainers on. So I walked into the room and it was weird. The greeting was weird. He greeted me like a long-lost brother. He was cuddling me, man, it's all love, and tell Simon, and this was bizarre as well, you're going to love this one, tell Simon Jordan, you know, we need to sit down. I want to have a cup of tea with him. I didn't even know he knew what tea was. He was like, yeah, I want to have a cup of tea with him, and it was just like, I was like, wow, all right. And so, yeah, it was just, the behaviour was so bizarre. It was just like, it was all crazy, but nothing out of the ordinary. People are talking about, worrying about his mental health and this and that. I was talking to him for ages after the press conference. The guy is perfectly normal.
It's always been
but
like
he's
this.
always been like it, and people have forgot about that. They've lost track because of the ayahuasca thing where he went and found himself when he went mellow for a couple of years. I saw the old bronze bomber back. I saw a little taste of that. Now, whether he can implement that and convert that into the ring and we get that old bronze bomber back again, is another story. But he told me the reasons for those bad performances, what was going on in his life, the betrayal, you know, the split up with his wife, the people around him, you know, the lack of trust around people. The guy had massive, massive problems. He said, all that is gone now, but it's for me to prove inside the ring. Well, I've seen it outside the ring. The bronze bomber is back. Let's see, and that's what makes this fight so interesting.
And it does make it really interesting, guys, all of us, an interesting fight, because it's both of their 50th fights. That's historic in itself. For a heavyweight to reach 50 fights in this period, I think the last big name who did was Vladimir Klitschko, and look how great he was in his career when you look at it on the balance of things. I think it's a fun fight, and I completely agree with everything Spencer's analysis of Deontay Wilder. He's just one of those guys that explodes at times, then disappears. He's had a bizarre career, that long run defending the WBC heavyweight title against not really the biggest names, avoiding Anthony Joshua for a long time, avoiding Vladimir Klitschko. Fury had his number, maybe like Usyk has Fury's number, and Fury wants that third fight with Usyk. So it's just one of those situations. I think it'll be a great night to celebrate. It'll be great for the two guys, and if Derek Chisora does win, I do hope that he finally walks away.
Well, that's all coming up in April. Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder going at it in London. Looking forward to it, no doubt. More so for the build-up. I'm sure there'll be many more episodes that we experienced, like we experienced throughout the course of this week. There's about to be an announcement regarding the result of a fight that has just taken place in the ring. John Rowling, what happened between Hassan Ishach and Leonardo Baez?
Well, Ishach stopped him in the third round, as you're about to hear.
Here is the official time. 1 minute 39 seconds of round number 3. Our referee in charge, John Latham, waves off the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, Hassan "Shooter" Ishach.
Leonardo Baez, a little Argentinian who came over here with a pretty poor record. He was just completely overwhelmed. And Ishach from Slough in Berkshire, only his third pro fight, but this is his third stoppage. It might be a name to remember for the future.
Still to come, thank you, John, by the way. Still to come this evening, we've obviously got Nick Bull taking on Brandon Figueroa in our main event. We're going to catch that over on talkSPORT, as we are going to catch Jack Turner doing his thing in the super flyweight division. Andrew Kane's going to be up next. You'll hear that here on talkSPORT 2, and we are streaming on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Plenty of boxing chat still to come. Don't be going anywhere. We're live in Liverpool for Fight Night across the talkSPORT network. We're on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel and currently on talkSPORT 2 at 9 o'clock. We'll be crossing over to talkSPORT 1. I'm Adam Catterall. Pleasure to be with you. Gareth A. Davies, Spencer Oliver and John Rowling alongside me tonight for the main event that is Nick Bull defending his world title for the 4th time against former world champion Brandon Figueroa. Our next fight is a world title eliminator which involves Andrew Kane and Alejandro Gonzalez. We'll get to that in a moment or two. We're going to be calling you through it. You'll hear all the action here on talkSPORT 2 and on the boxing channel. But right now, let's have a little bit of a delve into that heavyweight division. We've just flirted a little bit, haven't we? We're talking about what Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora have been up to in the talkSPORT building this week. Let's talk Fabio Wardley, shall we? Because he's another one of our world title holders. Lots of talk about what he might be doing next. What direction would you like to see him going next, Gareth?
Well, the best fight for Fabio Wardley right now is Daniel Dubois. And a few people who I've talked to behind the scenes are definitely looking at it. They're teasing that fight. Frank Warren has just marginally alluded to it's a possibility. It's a fight that I understand behind the scenes that Fabio is prepared to take a gamble in. Daniel Dubois is coming off a loss, of course, to Alexander Usyk, and he's had time away. He's changed trainers, that weird journey for the Christmas period over to Tony Sims and back to Don Charles. That's the fight that ignites the British public. That's the fight that sells out Portman Road in May, 30,000 people, that sells out the O2 Arena immediately, that gets pay-per-view buys. But I fear it may veer in a different direction. Ajit Kabayel's there as well. Jarrell Miller is an opponent I know they're looking at. I know you can make as many faces as you want, but they are looking at him as a possibility. To pay or not, to be or to pay not to be, never mind. It could be a hair-raising event. Anyway, look, Jarrell Miller, for me, should be in the top 15 somewhere, notwithstanding the drugs and all of that stuff. For me, I'd love to see Fabio Wardley in with Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, I think... Spence, what's your thoughts before I chirp in and ruin this conversation? Go on.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? Because you have Fabio Wardley, who's always been chasing the pack, has been the underdog, you know, come through that minor crisis with Justice Hooney and his homecoming, you know, in that strange night at Ipswich Town Football Club when the rain was coming down. But, you know, he showed that, you know, he doesn't give up hope, he doesn't lose heart, doesn't lose the will to win, and then going in against an underdog again against Joseph Parker and pulling off a memorable victory against Joseph Parker. Now he's the guy with a target on his back and the one that can't get the fight out of all these knocked out right now. All these heavyweight fights are being made, and the only one that we don't know about now is Fabio Wardley. Now I hedge my bets quite strongly on Fabio Wardley boxing Daniel Dubois next. It's a great fight for both of them, but a dangerous fight for both of them. You cannot write Daniel Dubois off. And let me go there with this, guys. Coming off that defeat against Alexander Usyk will be the last thing on Daniel Dubois' mind going into this one, because he's slightly different to other fighters. That some fighters need a little cuddle, a little rebuild, a little comeback, warm-up fights. Daniel Dubois is not that guy. He needs to get back on the saddle, straight back into the big fights. That's what he wants. Dangerous fight for Fabio and a dangerous fight for Dubois, because if Dubois loses, where does he go? He falls off that top tier. But for me, I think it's a great fight for Fabio, because I just believe this could catapult him up to that next level.
But he's already there. Sorry, Adam, you go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is, if this was a sport and not a business, the right answer is Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk, Fabio Wardley should be the next fight, because Fabio Wardley's earned the right to have a shot at the elite king in this division. It's not going to happen because this is a commercial business, I get it. And Alexander Usyk is probably going in a different direction. He's looking for a ridiculous amount of cash for whatever it may be, and Fabio Wardley might not necessarily be able to generate those numbers for him. So then I look at the best of the rest. For me, I look at Fabio Wardley versus Ajit Kabayel, which you've just highlighted there. Ajit Kabayel's also a forgotten man who's earned his stripes and should be fighting at the very top of this sport. I think Fabio Wardley, Ajit Kabayel is an absolutely fantastic fight. I know that people will turn their nose up at Daniel Dubois getting a shot at a world title off the back of a defeat, but if you're looking purely at commercial value of something, especially here in the UK, Fabio Wardley, Daniel Dubois, who is still the number 4 ranked WBO guy, so therefore there's a voluntary situation that Fabio Wardley can activate here. makes an awful amount of sense. I think it does bums on seats, I think it does money, and I also actually think it's quite competitive because both guys can bang.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, mate. I think that is the match to be made there, and I think that, you know, great opportunity for both guys going into that one. Ajit Caballel, I see him going in against Lawrence Okoli. That will probably take place in Germany after the success they've just had out there with Ajit Caballel last time out. The atmosphere looked absolutely insane. I know Frank Warren wants to go back out there. Lawrence Okoli wants that fight. I think that is something that could quite possibly happen. And I think we see Alexander Usyk in America against Andy Ruiz Jr. That's one route that I think that he goes.
Yeah, it's not a fight I particularly like, that one, just to do the round.
Yeah, but he's ranked highly with the WBC, so that's why Fred Spence is saying that. Because, listen, whatever
you don't have to like
Andy Ruiz lost in the summer of 2024 to Jarrell Miller, in my view, in that fight when Terence Crawford fought Madrimov. Was it 25?
Yeah, but it's not a loss on his record, mate, and they're looking for names, and it's about building his profile in America. And Andy Ruiz Jr., we're talking about the business here, Gareth, and that is the business.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Lawrence Okoli earning the opportunity for Ajit Caballel. That's what I thought you were referring
as well.
to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So look at what Alexander Usyk's done in the last few months. He's played a bit of soccer. He's had a lot of time around Turki Al-Sheikh, the biggest mover and shaker on the chessboard. For me, who at the moment is playing the white pieces and the black pieces on the board.
Yeah,
and it's not just playing the pawns, he's playing the kings, the queens, the rooks, the knights and the castles. He's playing everyone right now. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. He's playing games with everyone. Now, Alexander Usyk has renamed his promotional company in the last week. That tells me something. It wouldn't surprise me to see him fight Andy Ruiz. It's not a fight I particularly like, but I'd be at it. I'd like it against someone like Richard Torres, if I'm honest, someone a bit more fresh.
Usyk?
Against Torres? Someone a bit fresher in America, someone that could make a name for themselves. Andy Ruiz is a washed-up fighter as far as... I love Andy Ruiz, but he's a washed-up fighter. I agree with you in principle. Ajit Caballel or Fabio Wardley should be fighting Alexander Usyk right now.
But Usyk,
they're not going to happen. And we're all giving Usyk a bye at the moment because of what he's achieved and because he's universally loved. But the good thing is about the heavyweight division, Usyk will fight this year, Wardley will fight this year, Caballel will fight again this year, Dubois is going to fight him or Zhile Zhang. Filip Hrgovic is someone we haven't mentioned in the mix there who could fight either of Caballel.
He might get the Wardley fight.
Or Caballel. He could do either of them. And Tyson Fury can't stay off social media at the moment, and Anthony Joshua, thankfully, has given an address, a 6-minute emotional address, that signs are that he can get over the horrendous things that happen to him. But for however much we moan about the heavyweight division, it's going to be a great year.
Oh, I hope so, mate. Listen, regarding the Usyk giving him a pass, Usyk has wiped out this generation for my liking. Now, the reason why I say he can do whatever he wants, he can, as long as the sanctioning bodies pull the finger out, call him to take on his mandatories, and if he doesn't take them on, take the belts off him and let these divisions move on, i.e. Ajit Caballel, WBC. Call it. If you don't make the fight, cool, Ajit Caballel can go and fight somebody else for that belt then now.
Usyk doesn't need belts anymore.
Not
He's
at all.
reached that level that Mayweather did, that Crawford has, that others before them did, that Duran and Leonard, all these guys, they didn't need belts in the end. What they needed was competition against the very best.
Yeah, I completely agree. Listen, we're going to pick this conversation up, no doubt, throughout the course of the night, so make sure you stick around for that. Plenty of other things to talk about as well, including Shakur Stevenson, Conor Benn, Josh Kelly's fantastic win last weekend. We'll get stuck into all of this throughout the course of the show. But as you can hear in the background, Thomas Treiber is just introducing this fight, which is a world title eliminator for Andrew Kane. He's taking on Alejandro Gonzalez. So let's get a little bit of pomp and ceremony from our MC this evening.
With the World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman, Supervisor Peter Stuckey, Timekeeper Chris O'Connor. The judges are Hughes Elleboat, Jacqueline Manzour, and Kieran McCann. Our referee in charge will be Mark Bates. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing white with gold and weighed in officially at 117.7 pounds. Coming to us from Mexico City, Ciudad de Mexico. He brings a professional record consisting of 19 wins, 6 defeats, 3 draws. 11 of his 19 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the current WBC International Silver Bantamweight Champion, Alejandro Jair Conejo Gonzalez. And his opponent across the ring in this final eliminator, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing black trunks and weighed in officially at 117.15 pounds. Hailing from right here, Liverpool, England. He has a professional record of 14 wins, just 1 defeat. 12 of his 14 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former British and Commonwealth champion and the current WBC Silver Bantamweight champion, Andrew Kane.
Final instructions from the referee.
Okay, gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room, so you know what's expected. Keep your punches up, obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Good luck to you both, gentlemen. Trust us.
Well, it looks like the Scousers are off the concourse and they are in their seats for this fight, which is a world title eliminator. Andrew Kane taking on Alejandro Jair Gonzalez. Later on, it's Nick Ball versus Brandon Figueroa. We've also got Jack Turner in action, but calling you through this one right here at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool is Spencer Oliver and John Rawling.
There's a very dark sort of strain in the character of Andrew Kane. He is a real hurtful, vicious puncher when he gets into a contest, and he'll want to show that here tonight against Gonzalez, and he'll want to show that he's the heavier-handed, and when he gets the opportunity that he can take him out.
Yep, 12 out of his 14 victories have come inside the distance. Has a phenomenal work rate, great win last time out against Charlie Edwards, former WBC World Flyweight Champion Charlie, and that was a really good win there for Kane. Let's see if he can build on it now. But Gonzalez is one of those tough guys. He's on a winning run of 7 himself. Really all to fight for here. The winner gets a shot at the world title.
His win against Charlie Edwards was really very much a point in Andrew Kane's favour, because Edwards, a very technical sort of fighter, and Kane outworked him, and when he got the opportunities, he made the most of it. And again here tonight, he's physically the smaller man against the heavily tattooed Alejandro Gonzalez, who's made a quiet sort of start here, just taking a little look at Kane.
Yep, Kane, the one stalking forward, looking to apply the pressure. Gonzalez just taking a look, slams the right hand to the body there. And Gonzalez just doing the right thing here, taking his time, taking a look. It's a 12-round contest, this one, with a lot on the line.
Yeah, it's a long way to go, and it's not imperative to make the fast start. It's a 12-round contest, and it's about being fast, competitive, fit, and hurtful right the way through those 12 rounds.
Yeah, Kane just standing in front of Gonzalez at the moment, holding center of the ring, falls short with a jab there. Gonzalez looking to create an opening, set a trap himself.
Taller man, Gonzalez, just leaning back out of reach of the left-hand lead of Kane. Gonzalez tries to throw an overhand right. Kane saw it coming, was able to just slip inside, tries to throw a left cross of his own. Again, he's off target, and there's not too many real hurtful scoring punches being landed, but there's a good left hand from Gonzalez, just as I said that, and then back comes Kane with a solid left hand of his own. Both of those punches landing to the head.
Yeah, look like hurtful punches, those. Both guys can whack a little bit, that's for sure. And like I said, a lot on the line here, and as you can see, mutual respect from both of these guys in the opening round as Gonzalez slams a right hand to the body. Kane takes it well, pushing forward himself, hands held high, 10-second clacker goes.
That's in a slow sort of opening in this first round from Kane, and Gonzalez has warmed into it, has boxed his way into it. The further the round has gone, there's a touch of gloves between the two men as they make their way back to the corner in this second big fight of the night here on talkSPORT 2. Our main event, the world title fight, coming up sometime after 10 o'clock. Be sure to switch channels and stay with us then.
Yep, Kane choosing to stand in the corner, the blue corner, taking the instructions from his trainer. Looks nice and relaxed, nice and focused in there. Looking to the opposite corner, the red corner. Gonzalez on his seat, taking instructions from his trainer. A lot on the line here for both of these guys. The winner goes on, gets a shot at that green and gold belt, the WBC belt. And for the loser, it's all about the rebuild.
I thought there was an argument there that Gonzalez took that opening round, and he's gone one up on my scorecard. I don't know about you, Spencer.
Yeah, very difficult round to split. Both guys, I say, showing mutual respect. Gonzalez may have just done enough as well, John, I think, to have nicked that one. Yes, Kane was the hunter. He was on the front foot, but didn't really relax, find his range, find his rhythm. But like I say, 12 rounds is a long time.
Smart little left hook counter-punch from Gonzalez. The first clear scoring shot of this second round of a 12-round fight. Left to the body from Gonzalez. Misses with a wild overhand right follow-up. He was looking for the side of Kane's head. Kane a fairly static target at the moment, and he's caught again as he comes in, this time by a left uppercut from Gonzalez. That's better though from Kane. Puts together 1, 2, 3 in a nice little combination and follows up with a left hand to the head. Needs to get his feet moving. He needs to be an elusive target when those counters come back.
That's exactly right, John. He can't afford to switch off in the pocket here, Kane, because Gonzalez, as you say, is looping those shots over, as many Mexicans do. He's winging the right hands over the top. Body shots are going in as well. Slams the jab in Kane's face as well there. Kane's going to have to be a little bit cute here. He's going to have to use a little bit of variety, a little bit of head movement, because Gonzalez looks very dangerous here in the opening of this contest.
It's really nice opening this from Gonzalez, who comes from Mexico City. As you've heard, he's won his last 5. When you think about great little fighters of years gone by from Mexico, most notably, I suppose, that fabulous trilogy between Marco Antonio Barrera and Morales. What great fights they were.
Yep, that trilogy will go down as one of the best trilogies in boxing history. Barrera and Morales, real rivals from the young days, from when they were young kids. They finally got it on 3 times and give us some spectacular fights, and it looks like, John, we're going to get one here.
Kane needs to work his way into this fight. Right now, he's just being outsped. He's greater accuracy from the slightly taller Gonzalez, and Kane has not been able to settle into a rhythm yet, but there's a nice right hand and another one, both of which are applauded by the Andrew Kane corner. That's more like it.
Yep, good work there from Kane as he slams the right hand to the body as well, but just needs to move his feet in range before letting the shots go, because, like you said, Gonzalez is very cute. He slips well, he uses variety, he uses his imagination, and he's got great shot selection. And he can't afford to walk onto one of those Gonzalez uppercuts now. Out of his 11 victories inside the distance, he's taken a few of them out with that backhand, right-hand uppercut. And Kane has to be careful. As I say that, Kane slams the left hook into the head. And again, Gonzalez tries to respond.
He's responded well. He's landed 2 or 3 solid body shots. The Kane fans are up on their feet, applauding their man. That was a really good exchange. Both of them having their moments in that round.
Yeah, Kane maybe just nicking that round. Another close round as well, but Kane started getting success towards the last 20, 30 seconds, and that may have been enough to nick the round. He slammed the right hand to the body, turned it over to the head as well. Gonzalez tried to respond, but Kane come back quick with that jab. That could be the key weapon here. As Gonzalez comes forward, he needs to keep pumping the jab, double jab, and then follow up with the shots afterwards. All to fight for here, John, going into round 3.
Yep, 2 very close rounds, and a reminder you can watch along with us here at ringside at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool. Head over to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel right now to get involved. This is Nick Ball against Brandon Figueroa, the world title fight coming up later, live on talkSPORT. This one, all to play for.
Yep, certainly is. Hard to separate both of these guys at the moment. The aggressor is Andrew Kane, but the cute boxing and power punching, winging the shots over, is coming from Gonzalez. As I say that, Kane slams the jab into his face. Lovely shot there, sends the sweat spraying. Can he build on that?
There's an economy of movement to Andrew Kane. You could say that he's not moving enough, that he's not got enough lateral movement, and there's a good jab, followed up with a couple of left hooks from Gonzalez. But having said that, Kane isn't wasting energy in what could be a fight for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. You just sense that this could be fight of the night. Both guys, you know, stylistically, it was always going to be a good fight. And again there, Kane doubling up on the jab. Gonzalez coming back with a left hook, matching each other punch for punch as we reach the 2-minute mark of round number 3.
There's some Mexican-looking ladies across in the press area getting very, very excited about what they're watching from Gonzalez, that he's fighting well, and at this stage, very much in this contest, and he's caught Kane with a couple of solid headshots already in this round.
Yep, you can clearly see that Gonzalez has come with that game plan. He knows that Kane's going to come. He's just creating the space, taking half steps back, and he's looking dangerous with the shots. The referee says something. Gonzalez complains about something on the floor. Is it a gum shield? Something the referee just picked up there. Both guys continue boxing, and Gonzalez just misses with the uppercut. Good shots back from Kane.
Well, neither of them suggesting that they want, if it is a gum shield, neither of them saying they want it back in. Left-hand lead from Kane was a scoring punch. Gonzalez just waiting for Kane to commit himself. The two land simultaneously. Right hand from Kane, left hand from Gonzalez. Gonzalez, not so much lateral movement now. He's trying to spear Kane as Kane walks in fairly straight lines.
Yep, he's just starting to chip away a little bit here, Kane. You just feel that he's building on that second round, a round I thought he just nicked, and, you know, not so much variety coming from Gonzalez here. As I say that, he slams the left hook in.
Good shot. Landed on the jaw of Kane, and now Gonzalez ducks low, and the referee says to him, come on, let's keep up. Let's keep this one legitimate as we move into the final 20 seconds of this third round of 12. Jab from the Scouser, Andrew Kane, who got a terrific reception from this Liverpudlian crowd here on the banks of the River Mersey in the huge arena here, which tonight has some 7,000 or 8,000 people in it. Left hand from Gonzalez. There's a scoring punch and a left hand to the body, switches the attack to the head, all from Gonzalez. How are you seeing this one, Gareth?
It's a very even contest. I mean, you look over at Andrew Kane, and he's the photo fit of Nick Ball, but 2 inches taller, isn't he, basically, from the Stevenson School of the Everton Red Triangle gym. Look, it was always going to be a tough fight. These two guys are both trying to prove their world level. I've got him marginally ahead at the moment, but I think, as you both said in commentary, he's got to be slightly careful on the inside. Conejo, as he's known, the rabbit from Mexico, is a deft fighter. He's lost a few, but he's a game fighter, and I think Mexicans are always game on the inside. Machismo is there, the style is there, and he's got to be smart through these rounds. It's a 10-3s, of course, so it'll come up to the end quicker than we realise.
Well, what we most definitely know is that the 3 rounds which have gone so far have been very close. It's a 12-rounder, this one, not a 10-rounder.
Apologies.
Yeah, don't throw your microphone around. We picked that one up, Gareth.
It wasn't in anger, it was fumbling.
Made a rare mistake there, and the Gad man Back to this one, another good start to the round here from Kane, who's taken that centre position again, and that's where he needs to be here, Kane. He needs to hold centre of the ring. He needs to put Gonzalez on the back foot, because I feel that he doesn't like being there, Gonzalez. He's the guy that likes to be in command, and at the moment, Andrew Kane's doing a great job.
It's almost a red triangle cloning factory, isn't it? They come down here, they look so similar, and they fight so similarly. Kane is perhaps just marginally outscoring Gonzalez at this stage of the fight, certainly throwing more punches. Whether or not he's landing more, well, that's for the judges to decide.
Yeah, Kane just trying to be a little bit creative here now, setting the traps, bending his knees, trying to take Gonzalez downstairs, then coming over the top with that lovely right hand. He just slammed into the side of the head there of Gonzalez. Gonzalez tries to respond with a left hook right hand of his own, but falls short. This is a good round here for Kane, who looks the sharper of the two, just marginally, and that might be the difference, John.
And he's up onto his toes as well, using a bit of mobility of his own. There's a good left hand to the body from Gonzalez, and another two left-hand leads. Feinted to throw jabs towards the head and switch the attack to the solar plexus. That's a good little spell from the Mexican, as Kane misses with an attempted left uppercut. There was a solid right hand, which you heard thud into the arm, I think, of Gonzalez rather than the body. Some at the back of the arena thought it was a big scoring shot for Kane, but I don't think so. We've had 2 minutes gone now in this fourth round, and once more, not too much to split them.
No, neither guy really stamped his authority in this one. The action's been real seesaw, swinging one way, then the other. Kane marginally, maybe just nicking it at the moment, looking the sharper, maybe looking the fresher. But the variety is definitely with Gonzalez, and it's one of those ones, John, where you're just on the edge of your seat, waiting for it to explode. You feel like it is going to explode at some point. Someone's going to roll the dice, throw the kitchen sink, go all in.
Oh, they will do. You can be sure of that, because there's an awful lot on the line here. Now, when we go into the corners, sometimes I have to sort of give a preemptive apology for potentially X-rated, or whatever the word is now, R-rated speech in there. This time, I think it's going to be fairly safe, because Paul Stevenson is one of the more moderate of trainers.
Do you know, it's funny you say that, because when you talk about going into that corner, I see that little glint in your eye, I see that little smile on your face. You love listening to some of the banter that goes on in that corner. But let's see what Paul's all about here, what he's got to say.
Here we go, and here he is.
As you say, both looking to do the same thing, similar thing. We're doing the right thing. Stay ahead with your jab. You be a little touch busy with your jab without giving him any chances to counter. Hasn't even got a land. It's just the goals of it at the moment. Just in the quiet times, you're just looking that little bit busier. Just keeping ahead of him. Keep him missing the way you are, stepping away. Keep him missing so he's getting nothing off really. And then play the percentages. That tiny bit of extra weight. A little jab, the odd burst, watching out for the counter as always. So walking at this stage, it's not the time, you know what I mean? We've got a box.
Cool, calm, composed, and Andrew Kane there, hanging on every word.
Yeah, he certainly was very focused there, and sorry, John Rawling, you never got what you wanted from that corner, but we got rounds to go. I'm sure it's going to get more vocal there.
There'll not be any naughties in that corner, I don't think. I'd be very surprised. Anyway, that's for the future. We move now into the fifth round of 12, and I didn't ask you how you scored that last round. I tell you what, it was a difficult one to score again.
John, I've scored all 4 rounds here. I've gone 3 rounds to Kane, 1 to Gonzalez, but I could quite easily be the other way. The rounds have been razor close. For me, just the edge in speed and sharpness coming from Kane, but Gonzalez looks sharp as he goes to the body, but Kane comes back with a beautiful right hand of his own.
Working well inside, Kane. Short, good accuracy with those close-up punches, little flurries of punches aimed towards the head, sometimes not even landing at all, being taken on gloves or arms, but the fact that Kane's throwing them is dissuading his opponent from winding up for big punches like that one he just threw. A solid left hand and a good uppercut as well from Gonzalez, followed by a left hook. That's the best work the Mexican has produced for a little while, as Kane falls short with an attempted left-hand, right-hand combination.
Yeah, that was the shot that I've been talking about from Gonzalez. You know, looking back on his fights, he's dangerous with that lead right uppercut, and he nailed Kane with it there, but Kane come back with some good work of his own, just forced Gonzalez to look down at his glove there. I don't know, John, if he thought he had picked up a cut there. I don't see any blood, but it certainly bothered him.
Kane bobbing and weaving as he comes inside, trying to sucker Gonzalez into throwing inaccurate punches and then looking to capitalise. Gonzalez short of the mark with a left-hand lead as Kane, up on his toes, skips around the ring and is then caught inside by a left hand, a right hand. Big one from Gonzalez, falls just short. This is such a good fight. The styles blend beautifully. It's the shorter, squat Andrew Kane who works so well inside against the longer, looser-limbed Alejandro Gonzalez, who's trying to pick him off with roundhouse swings and uppercuts and hooks, and maybe Kane landing more punches, but is Gonzalez landing the quality?
Yeah, well, Gonzalez is looking slightly frustrated up there as we reach the 32nd point of round number 5, and Kane just putting Gonzalez's head down, but Gonzalez is the guy that's trying to change things, trying to work it out, trying to set the traps. As I say that, Kane doubles up with a jab, lands a lovely right hand, sends a sweat spraying from the side of the head of Gonzalez there. Gonzalez tries to respond.
There's 15 seconds to go in this round as Gonzalez onto the front foot, tries to finish as the aggressor, lands a big solid right hand into the body of Kane, who protests about Gonzalez coming in using his head. Gonzalez dabs at his forehead as much as to say, no, that wasn't deliberate, and by the way, I'm not cut either. What do you reckon, Adam?
I think it's a very, very tight fight, gents. It's going to be very difficult to score each individual round. The reason being is because just when one fighter's getting a little bit of momentum, you think, right, okay, they're taking over here, then you'll get a little burst maybe from an Andrew Kane. End of round 2 is absolutely fantastic. Lovely little flurry at the end of round 2. He's just done it again there at the end of round 5. Little flurry, caught him clean on a couple of occasions, finishing well.
I think Paul Stevenson just walked across the ring, had a word with the referee and said, watch for this guy's head.
Which is a note to the last flurry there as round 5 finished. I stand by the fact that this could be 3-2 either way. It's a very, very tight fight. It's going to be interesting to see how the second half plays out here, whether Andrew Kane, who's notorious for his fitness, could just go through the gears and overwhelm the guy.
It's the 6th round, it's a 12-rounder. It might be very close. It might be that one fighter has a significant advantage. Who knows? What we do know for sure is that these rounds have been very close as Kane steps inside, tries to throw a solid left hook. Gonzalez ducks below it, aims to throw a counter, and he's got one round the back of the head this time from Kane. Again, a little protest from the Mexican.
Yeah, great analysis there from Adam Catterall, who's right. It could be 2-3 either way here. No one really took this by the scruff of the neck. As I say that, Kane lands a nice right hand, left hook. But if you're looking at body language here, and approaching this halfway mark, Kane's the one up on his toes. He's the one now holding centre of the ring. He's still holding his shape, and he's still creating stuff. And I'm not so sure if Gonzalez is starting to look frustrated, and maybe, just maybe, starting to unravel a little. As I say that, he loops the right hand over.
And that's the best punch he's landed for some time. It landed flush on the left-hand side of Kane's head. For what it's worth, I've got Kane 3-2 up after 5 rounds. Into the second half of the fight, it's going to be about conditioning, fitness, tactics, who's paced themselves the better, how much have they got left in the tank for the big onslaught when it surely comes one way or the other. You sense that it's going to be Kane who at some point is going to really go for it. Lands a left hand and then is short with an attempted right hand follow-up. Nice boxing, that from Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez doing a good job in this round here. He's trying to draw Kane on, just lands the jab there as well. And you're right, you know, you just feel with these guys, it's been a high ring craft in there at the moment. Boxing IQ's good. Kane comes with a shot as well, but no one, as I say, really took this one yet. Both guys are having their moments, and you just sense, John, at some point, they're going to have to go all in. They're going to have to roll it, you know, because this one is on a knife edge.
Well, they will do. They're going to have to, because at this point, it is a real pick-em fight, which it was pretty much before it began. Admittedly, Kane was a big gambling favourite, but then he would be here in Liverpool, where most of the money would be going on, because most of the people who are backing him wouldn't really know much about Gonzalez. But if you dipped into his record and had a look at some of his fights up to this point, you'd see that he's a decent operator, and Kane is finding him quite a tricky man to work out.
Yeah, he's been operating at a higher level for sure, but you look at the first glance at his record, 19 wins, 6 defeats, 3 draws with 11 KOs. You go, well, okay, nice little stepping stone, but that doesn't tell the story. This kid's from Mexico, he's been fighting tough, and as I say, that lands a good left hook and tries to pin Kane in the corner. It's a good round this from Gonzalez.
Last few seconds of the round, Gonzalez finished very strongly indeed, landed a very solid left hand right on the bell, and in the end Kane goes back to his corner, knowing that he had to withstand a pretty powerful rally in the closing seconds of the round.
Yep, it's all to fight for still, isn't it? These guys are having their moments, both of them, both having their successes. And like I say, I'm just waiting for a change in the pattern, because maybe a little bit too much mutual respect in there. Yeah, I get what's on the line here, and I get what they're both going for, but at some point, you've got to fight with your heart on your sleeve a little bit, and I think that's time is coming soon, John.
Yeah, it's coming closer with every round. You're listening to Andrew Kane against Alejandro Gonzalez from the M&S Bank Arena here in Liverpool on talkSPORT 2. We're moving into round 7 of a 12-rounder, building up to our main event. Nick Ball against Brandon Figueroa for the WBA World Featherweight title. That's the old title which years ago Barry McGuigan used to hold.
Yeah.
And at the halfway stage, I can tell you that another Irishman, Carl Frampton, has got it dead level on my card as well. I've got it level. Have you got it?
No, I've got Andrew Kane winning 4 rounds to 2 actually, so I've gone one way. I've gone different on one of the rounds there. I think that, listen, John, it's really, really tough to call this one. And heaven only knows who these judges are going to go for at the moment. I think this fight is to be won and lost in these final 6 rounds.
Yep, may well be. And see Gareth looking down at his scorecard with a sort of a Ray Reardon style shrug of the shoulder and said he's got it 5-1. Is that to Kane? Yes, it is. Gareth's got it 5-1 to Kane. Well,
listen, there's an argument for all of these scores, if I'm totally honest. Frampton could be right, I could be right with a 4-2, Gareth with a 5-1. One thing I do know is that Kane is slightly in front. That is for sure. Whether that's around, I think he's just slightly doing the better work. But there's a dangerous look around Gonzalez.
And the Mexican corner urging him forward. They're almost sensing maybe that Kane is taking a little bit of a gamble here, dropping his gloves and trying to lure Gonzalez in, and the Mexican corner is saying he wants to drop his gloves, you take advantage, step in there. There's a good right hand though from Kane.
Yeah, Kane just beating Gonzalez to the shot, and as I say that, Gonzalez lands a lovely 1-2, comes back for a hook. Kane comes back with shots of his own, but the better work there from Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, the taller man, heavily tattooed. Kane, squat, powerfully built, 5'4", almost as wide as he is high. A real powerhouse of a little fighter.
Yeah, oh, big uppercut there from Gonzalez. That's the shot I'm talking about. I tell you, that's the danger shot. And as these rounds roll on, and we see there Kane dropping his hands and trying to be a little bit cocky at times, trying to lure Gonzalez in. But as the rounds draw on, John, you've got to be careful with stuff like that, because that's when you slightly miss it and you get caught with those big shots.
30 seconds to go in the 7th round. Very close at this point. Andrew Kane against Alejandro Gonzalez. We're going to be switching over before too long to the main talkSPORT channel for our main event of the evening, the WBA World Featherweight title fight. Nick Ball defending his title against Brandon Figueroa. Last few seconds of this round, Gonzalez might have done enough to take this one, I think so. Let's see what Gareth Davis thinks.
Yeah, I thought it was good work by Gonzalez in that round. I got it 5 rounds to 2. Listen, the rounds have been very, very close. I thought Kane just took his foot off the gas and was not showboating, but getting towards that in that round, dropping his hands, moving around, enjoying himself too much almost. I think he needs to focus and get back into winning those exchanges.
Experienced judges ain't going to get fooled by, you know, sort of people showboating.
I'd be very surprised if any of the judges gave that round to the local lads. I think it's a really good fight. It's a really intriguing fight of a kind of durable, gritty, tank-like Liverpool style against a great machismo Mexican style. It's a really intriguing fight. It's a really big battle. I can't see either of these guys living with that WBA champion Bam Rodriguez, though.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. He's the recognised pretty much as the #1 at that level in the bantamweight division, Bam Rodriguez. And now they go into the 8th round. Andrew Kane may be ahead on the judges' cards. The crowd will certainly hope so, although they're a little bit subdued.
Yep, he just sense that Gonzalez is pulling himself back into this one. I gave him the last 2 rounds, and I've got Kane just marginally ahead, 1 round up here with it all to fight for. This really is a 4-round contest right now with a lot on the line. You guys talk about Bam Rodriguez, a pound-for-pound star, but it's not about whether we think he could beat him or not beat him. It's about the opportunity, the big money fights. This is prize fighting, and that's what the winner gets here. A lot on the line, and all to fight for. With 2 minutes to go in round number 8.
Yep. Who's going to be the stronger as we come towards the finishing line? And right now, Gonzalez is getting the better of things. And the Mexican fans are really getting very animated, and the Mexican corner urging the man in as he thuds in 2 great big powerful body shots into the solar plexus of Andrew Kane. Kane tries to come off the ropes, but as he does so, he's caught by a left hand and another big right hand which thudded into his body. Good power shots from Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez has got his 2nd win. Kane's up on his toes. He's trying to stay out of trouble, but there's been a turning of the screw here from Gonzalez as he's been slamming those hooks into the body. You can hear them from down here at ringside. Real thudding work, and Gonzalez pushing forward again. Kane spending too long on the ropes. Comes back with a good left hook, right hand. All action here in round number 8.
Yeah, well-timed punches those from Kane. Caught Gonzalez as he came off the ropes. But another huge left hand from Gonzalez, and Kane felt that one. The knees sagged slightly, and now a big right hand goes in as well. And Kane is in dangerous territory here in this 8th round. Gonzalez has got him going. Kane almost went down, and now he has gone down. The lasting effects of those withering body shots, and I'm not sure that he's going to have too much left when this continues. The referee's having a really good look at him, asking if he's okay. Kane says yes, but Gonzalez is going in there in the remaining 25 seconds, looking to take Andrew Kane out, and it might be that 2 or 3 more big body shots might do the trick, and he's looking for them. The left hand came down, and he hammered in a right hook to the head, and Kane's on the receiving end of another massive attack, and goes down once more. Left hand to the body, down for the 2nd time, and I'm not sure that Kane has got anything left, and he is literally rescued by the bell.
Yeah, he's fallen into the corner, he's bending over. I'm not even sure he wants to continue here. I think Gonzalez thought it was all over. The crowd erupted, you couldn't hear the bell coming. Kane is in desperate trouble here.
Let's quickly listen into the Kane corner where Paul Stevenson's talking to his man.
Listen, we're not giving this up. Oh, no, yeah. So, yeah, he's good. Got to recover. Need some room and some time. Get on your feet a little bit. If he tries to rush you, go something big and solid, you know what I mean? But we've got to work around this. Andrew, this is your whole life, okay? So you got to find a way through this.
Dead right, he's got to find a way through this. That's a 10-7 round, 2 knockdowns, and that's a massive swing in this contest. Gonzalez is now in control as we move into the 9th round of 12.
Yeah, Gonzalez just seemed to turn the screw in that round, started concentrating the attacks down the body, and he got through. Kane in desperate trouble. Only the bell saved him. This is going to be tough. Torrid times here from Kane. He's going to have to show character. We're going to find out what he's all about. Now, here comes Gonzalez.
And as a professional fighter, Spencer, you know, as every fighter knows, that the pain of those big body shots, it stays.
I'm telling you, that you do not recover from them easily. The headshots, yeah. Oh my God. Left hook.
He's put Gonzalez down. A sweet left hand. Gonzalez is saying that he slipped on wetness on the ring surface, but he went down, and that's a knockdown now for Kane. What a fight we've got here.
Well, Kane out of nowhere, Levain's in trouble, right hand, and Gonzalez in desperate trouble.
Kane's trying to finish him right here, right now. Lands a big right hand and the left hand, and down goes Gonzalez for a second time. An extraordinary turnaround here. He had Kane down twice in the last round. He's cut and he's finished. The referee takes a look at a badly damaged left eye and says that's enough. And Andrew Kane, well, you talk about fighting spirit here on the banks of the Mersey, and it doesn't come much more raw, determined and committed than that from Andrew Kane, turning the fight round when it looked as though it was well and truly lost.
You will not get more dramatic than that. I thought Andrew Kane was all but done. He'd been on the floor, he was in desperate trouble. If that bell didn't come when it came, the fight would have been over. He stumbled back to his corner, fell on the ropes. Paul Stevenson done a great job to get him back out there, give him a pep talking to, asked him did he want to get out of there, do you want me to pull you out, can you continue? He bit down on his gum shield, showed true gladiatorial fighting spirit there to come through there, landed a beautiful left hook at the start of round number 9, right on Gonzalez's chin, and Gonzalez hit the floor. When he got up, Kane did not let him recover. What a victory!
What a victory indeed. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get that microphone in front of Paul Stevenson at the end of this fight, but I tell you what, that rallying call in the corner, it was absolutely key there to that fantastic turnaround.
It was an amazing turnaround, so exciting, so thrilling when that happens, but I wonder whether Mark Bates might have let that go on a little longer there. Yes, he was cut over the eye, yes, he did take a knee and dip. I'd like to have seen a little longer, if I'm being slightly critical, but my word, how exciting this sport is when it's at its very best. As we watch the replays, brilliant right hand, brilliant attacks. He genuflects in surrender there. Mark Bates pulling him off, but
it was the right hand, Gareth, that last final right hand that split the eyebrow, the left eyebrow of Alejandro Gonzalez, and it was a bad cut. And I tell you, the referee Mark Bates called it right there, Gareth, because
he didn't remonstrate at all, did he?
No, he didn't. It was
he was the guy who was nearest, and he was the one who could see it.
And neither did the Mexican remonstrate about it.
No, he didn't. He'd had enough at that point, because it was the eye that was hurting him. He was bending over in the neutral corner in front of us. The eye was pouring with blood.
This is but this is why we love this sport. We're watching the end of Kane, and suddenly Kane's resurrected like a phoenix from the ashes. What a night!
He looked across at me as you were speaking there, Gareth, and just as much as to say, I bet he said plenty about that. Had a little smile on his face, did Andrew Kane, and he's going to be very, very proud of that performance as a rather disenchanted Alejandro Gonzalez makes his way back to the dressing room, where he's going to have stitches put in that damaged eyebrow. But what a terrific performance from Andrew Kane. You know, when he looked back on his career in years to come, he's 28 years old, maybe he'll get a world title fight, maybe he'll become a world champion, but is he going to have a more dramatic night than that?
1 minute, 22 seconds of round number 9. Our referee in charge, Mark Bates, waves off the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout And the winner of the final eliminator for the WBC Bantamweight Championship of the World, Andrew Kane!
There you go, great performance in the end from Andrew Kane. I mean, the corner weren't there, Spence. Let's talk about that. In between rounds 8 and 9, off the back of getting dropped on 2 occasions, looking near enough done because of the body shot, and with all due respect, the momentum in the fight had started to shift. I personally had it 3 apiece at the end of 6. Round 7 to the Mexican. Round 8 with 2 drops to the Mexican. He was running away with it. The corner work between 8 and 9 to get him back in that game then, sensational.
Sensational, mate, it really was. I mean, what a performance that was from Andrew Kane. Showed a little bit of everything, didn't he? Showed so much character.
Is that all you want to say?
I didn't know if you was listening to his interview there,
don't
mate.
you worry, Gareth A. Davis will be speaking to him in a moment. Don't you worry, pal.
Yeah, listen, yeah, it was...
How important is that? Just to pick on that. How important is that when you are in the corner, the fight's not going your way, maybe you've just come off the back of getting dropped. What's the situation?
Yeah, listen, you've got to show a lot of fighting spirit, man. To turn that around is something that's not very easy achievable. That.
In fact, let's speak to Paul Stevenson, who's with Gareth A. Davis, who made that speech there to Andrew Kane. Go, Gareth.
I am with Paul Stevenson. I'm just getting to turn around for our social media as well. Wow, 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 what a turnaround.
Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, got it with those body shots, and he sat down in the corner, he looked finished, and I said, what is it? He said, it's not a rib, it says just hard shots. He had too much, so I said, look, this is your whole life, this, you know, if we go no further, if we don't go on now, need to buy a little bit of time, need to hold him, and need to try and catch him coming in. Thankfully, he done it, and it's amazing turnaround. You know, it looked grim, didn't it, Gareth?
You were brilliant in the corner with him, as you were explaining there. We listened to you on the broadcast in the corner, giving him that advice. What an amazing sport this is, to be with these young men. 25 years you've been doing it. Let's give you some of your flowers tonight. A guy turns around, a world eliminator, in that manner against a very dangerous Mexican.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew's been with me since he was 10. Trained him all, every amateur fight he ever had, and here he is now on the cusp of it. He's had to walk through the fire to get there, but he's there now. He'll get a world title fight in his next fight.
Without giving the game plan away, very quickly on Nick, what's he got to do tonight?
He's got to not allow Figueroa to do what he wants to do. He's got to go on.
We've got Andrew here. We're going to let you go and warm Nick up. We're going to go, Andrew. Wow, you thrilled us tonight. That was extraordinary. Talk us through the body shots that hurt you, what he told you, Stevenson told you, and what you did in that final denouement.
That's a lot, Gareth. That's a lot, that, mate.
Can you remember it?
Nah, what was the first one, lad?
The first one was, how much pain were you in? Did you think you were finished?
You know what, all I could feel was all the food out of it. Like, I've took body shots all my life, and I could just feel the food starting to come up. And never again will I eat that much. But
what was on the menu then?
I went to Turkish and Italian.
Oh my God.
I went mad, Gareth. I won't be doing that again next time.
Oh my God.
Wait until tomorrow, but yeah, not making no excuses. He hit me with a few nice body shots, but yeah, he was loading up with them. Should have really seen them coming, and next time I'll be more bothered about them going there. I ain't really too bothered. But as I'm gaining my experience, you know, I'll tighten up in these little areas where, you know, I'm from Liverpool. I'm on my card here. I'm a little bit reckless. And I can box to instruction as well. And
oh, you did, and when you came out the next round, man, we were all screaming and out of our seats. Describe it for us.
I just never give up, Gareth. I just thought, no chance of you getting me in my own time. Caught me with a nice couple of body shots, and it was close, I'll be honest, it was close. All the food coming up, and I just thought, nah, no chance, not in my time. And just caught him with a nice few shots, seen the opening and finished him off.
You caught him seemingly off balance, or he was claiming that, but he was hurt, wasn't he? And you knew, and you went in for the kill.
Yeah, I knew he was here to smelt it on him, Gareth, yeah. But, you know, I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming as well, you know, and let's go, Nick, smash it.
Brilliant, mate. We love you very much. What a turnaround tonight.
World champion soon. Let's go.
Brilliant. Back to you guys. What a guy he is.
There you go. An unbelievable turnaround in the fight. But coming back to what we were saying a moment or two ago, great to hear from Paul Stevenson, great to hear from Andrew Kane, the guys that obviously went through that particular moment. You've done this many times, Spence. When you sit on that stool, that 1 minute is incredibly important. It's incredibly important to be calm, cool, collected, deliver the right information to your guy to be able to go and deliver for the next 3 minutes.
Do you know what? It's so difficult because you do feel sorry for yourself. You know, when you get into that stage of the fight, you know, emotions play a big part of it. Can you imagine? He'd been bent over, folded like a deck chair twice there. The second time was really bad. I could feel the pain from out here. He couldn't stand up straight. Even when he stood up, he kept bending back over, severely winded. Can you imagine the emotions that kid's going through in that 1 minute, whilst trying to take those instructions from Paul Stevenson, who was brilliant in that corner as well. But he's got to show so much character there, you know, and he showed us that tonight. He can weather that storm, come through it, and turn it around himself. Because, yeah, it's all right taking on the advice of the corner man. You've got to implement it, you've got to deliver it. You're the one that's going out there and you've just been whacked up the body the way you've been backed out. Your trainer pats you on the back and goes, "Way you go, son." Do you know what I mean? You're in the firing line here. He shot it, but you're the bullet.
But you know, the weird thing, he's in pain and he's thinking about the Italian and the Turkish that he's eaten earlier and thinking, am I going to be sick here? And regretting eating those meals. It's extraordinary, really, isn't it? That's the headline for me.
The thing is, as Spencer's just highlighting there, going forward now, he knows. And he knows that he has the mental fortitude when it... Because let's be honest, this is a certain level. The next level is even better than this. He has the mental fortitude to come through serious moments.
You can't come through a more serious crisis than that and turn it around as quick as that. What I'm saying is, when we talk about development of fighters, before you get to that next stage, that next level, Gareth mentioned Bam Rodriguez there and all that, you've got to be able to come through those sort of crises. And, you know, he done that very quickly, turned that around very quickly. That is an unbelievable quality, and that refueling, restocking, Italian, Turkish, all of that stuff, you've got to get that balance right. Again, he will recognise that and won't make that mistake again.
I thought there's calmness in about discussing it. When he gets back and he watches it back, like you say, his crises management there was extraordinary. And how cool, calm and collected is Stevenson, because he knows how good these kids are. As he said, I've had him for he's 29, I believe. He's had him since he was 10.
Yeah.
So he knows him inside out. He knows he can go through pain, difficult moments, but actually, like you're saying, Spencer, to be able to produce it in a championship-like performance, an eliminator for a world title, it's a massive elevation for him in his career.
And he's in his own town. Scousers are built different round here, man. You can't be getting stopped in front of your own people, man. You've got to go and do your thing, ain't you?
Mate, I don't think you realise, like, those 3 minutes in a round, yeah, when you're going through a crisis like that, it's like 3 hours of being on the end of a big tanking. You get into the corner, those 60 seconds are like 6 seconds. That is the reality of what we're going through here. The turnaround that kid's just done, that is quite impressive. I really don't know what that was.
And the other thing about it as well, which I loved that he talked about, was he noticed, I don't know what this voice is, but what he noticed straight away was that his opponent was hurt and he went in for the kill, even though he was hurt himself. Brilliant turnaround.
It was an incredible turnaround. Congratulations to Andrew Kane. And his stablemate's going to be up very shortly in the main event as Nick Bull takes on Brandon Figueroa. Apologise if you are listening to us on talkSPORT 2 right now and you can hear a little bit of a bleed when it comes to the output. It looks like we can hear currently the output of a football manager's press conference. Fingers crossed we can get that sorted and therefore we can... There's 2 layers of output going on right now. Have we got rid of it? There we go. Thank you very much for the people back at talkSPORT Base for sorting us out. But regarding this now, how much does that then inspire his stablemate going forward into that main event, having watched what his main man's just gone through?
Massive, mate. And do you know why? Because Nick Bull may have to go through that himself. Figueroa's a big body puncher himself. Forget that he's 5'9" and Nick Bull's 5'2". Figueroa is that guy that loves to attack the body. He will have taken strength from what he just seen there, you know, and I think again with Gonzalez, and he will put that on Nick Bull as well. Forget the height difference here, but Figueroa's the body puncher.
It's funny you were saying that, Spencer, because as I was speaking to the coach, the trainer, I was wondering whether we might have a mirroring when we get to the main fight as well. Figueroa, those 1,000 punches of fights you say that he's famed for. He's famed for those long looping body punches with the left hand. He's got very powerful right as well. Nick Ball was in the dressing room watching that. Stevenson wanted to get in there. I know I halted his progress to the dressing room for him to join us on talkSPORT. He will be talking to his man now and saying, look what your mate Andrew Kane, your teammate, just did. You need to go out and reproduce that.
God forbid anything goes wrong in this Nick Ball fight, because you'll be getting the blame, my friend. He was trying to get in that dressing room. You stalled him those extra seconds. Just joking, mate.
It's always my fault. It's fine.
Listen, we've got a main event to get excited about with Nick Ball taking on Brandon Figueroa. Before it, the hard-hitting super flyweight, Jack Turner's going to be in the ring doing his thing. Looking forward to seeing him once again. Gentlemen, we've not reflected yet on Shakur Stevenson from last weekend, have we? I think it's only fair that we have a little bit of a talk about the performance of a lifetime so far, and I'm sure there's going to be more great performances from him coming in the future. It was billed as a super fight between Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, but there was only one guy really in it, dictating the whole pace. Shakur Stevenson enters the top 5 pound for pound, doesn't he?
Well, for me, he's gone to 3. I've been arguing with my Ring Magazine rankings panel columnists and colleagues for the last week. I put him above Bam Rodriguez, who they've got at 3. They've got Usyk at 2 and Nui at 1. I've got him at 3 right now. 4 weight divisions. He made it boringly brilliant and dominant, which we did. I thought that Teo had a lot of advantages going into this against Shakur, who's obviously coming up in weight. He'd had 2 brilliant wins, Teo, against fantastic southpaws in Josh Taylor, who's over to our right, working for Queensbury tonight, and also Vasil Lomachenko, a genuine victory over Lomachenko. Shakur, for me, if he beats Devin Haney at welterweight, deserves to be the #1 pound for pound in the world.
Elite fighters make other elite fighters look rather ordinary, don't they? He was absolutely fantastic last weekend.
Oh, listen, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence come to mind. When you looked at that fight, it was a 50-50 going in, and Terence Crawford made it look easy. And that's exactly what Shakur Stevenson done, made it look easy. He beat the bully. We thought that it was going to be Teo. You know, it was his weight division that Shakur was coming up to. We thought Teo was going to be the bull, and Shakur Stevenson was going to be the matador, but that weren't the case. Shakur Stevenson was pushing forward. He beat the bully at his own game. He beat him at his own game, controlled the space, was beating him to the punch. That lead southpaw jab with that right hand, he was pinging in his face, and he was setting the traps off the back of that, throwing the combinations, and yeah, it was a one-sided beatdown.
When I've been over to America in the past, I've always been a massive fan of Shakur Stevenson. And I know the American commentators and American so-called experts said, yeah, he's technically good, but he can't punch. He's not got the power. They used to say the same about Terence Crawford. They're saying it about him now. He is exceptional, mark my words, and that performance last weekend, it absolutely underlined it. And I'd go along with what these 2 guys said. If he can move on from here and get the real show-topping wins that I think he's capable of, he's still capable of getting to the point.
Is the fight I'd like to see.
Well, that's the interesting thing, right? Because there's unifications there for him. Dalton Smith, I've just mentioned. Obviously, there's other fights at 140 that he could unify the division if he wants to stay there. It'll be interesting to see what Shakur does next, whether he does make the jump to go for a 5-weight world championship at 147, because if he does, I think him and Devin Haney is an absolutely fantastic fight.
It's it's a super fight, and it's the super fight that begins to define the new era in American boxing, in my view.
And that comes back to what John was saying there about the Mayweather vibe about him, because that is how you define that.
I mean, I on record as saying I thought Shakur would always step up against bigger opposition, bigger names, because he has that natural arrogance and coolness when you're around him. He just knows. Now listen, I know you're right to correct me on Conor Benn doesn't deserve the opportunity. I know you got your things against Conor Benn.
No,
you're wrong. It's
not that, Gareth. We're talking about levels to the game here. Conor Benn does not sit with. You're talking about Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. You can't talk about Conor Benn.
So why did he call Conor Benn into the ring on Saturday
Because it's an
night?
easy money fight.
So what's wrong with that?
Conor Benn's a commercial money.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Why can't Shakur Stevenson have an easy money fight?
Listen, because that's not what we want. We want the best guys fighting the best guys. We want competitive fights. That's what we want as boxing fans, don't we?
Shaka Stevenson, anyway, will stay at 140 for a while. The Dalton Smith call is probably a better one right now, because he'll take his time. He'll take another year to go to welterweight, and I don't think the Ben Shaka Stevenson fight will happen anyway, in my view.
But Conor Benn, Josh Kelly, because Josh Kelly is absolutely earned the right for the money fight.
I love that, and I think Josh Kelly wins it.
And I also don't think that Conor Benn makes 147 again, is why I'm calling for that fight, because I think if you could, there's making the weight and maintaining the strength and the stamina and all of that, the agility, all of that, right? And I don't think after Conor Benn's been at 160 for so long, gets down to 147 and maintains that strength, his best days now will be at 154.
Well, continues this debate, no doubt, into the early hours of the morning, gentlemen, and I'm no doubt we'll be talking about it once we hit that studio once again. Welcome to listeners on talkSPORT. You've been missing out. These two have been arguing all night. Everybody's been arguing. You've been missing out. Fantastic comebacks as well. We've been on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. If you've been with us all night, thank you very much. Right now, though, we're going to be bringing you a fight involving Jack Turner, the super flyweight that's knocking everybody out. 12 knockouts through 13 fights. He is a bit of a sensation, and he's looking to make some real splashes at super flyweight. And later on, we've got Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa in a real quality world title defense.
This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it will be for the WBA International Super Flyweight Championship. Brought to you by Frank Warren for Queensberry, along with their great sponsors, Riyadh Season, Unibet, That Prize Guy, 32 Red, and Global Next Trade. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge Suzanne Potts, along with the World Boxing Association. President Gilberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor Robert Mack, Timekeeper Phil Morris. The judges are Glenn Feldman, Jean-Robert Lane, and Marcus McDonald. Our referee in charge will be John Latham. Introducing first the challenger. Fighting out of the red corner, he comes to the ring wearing blue with white and weighed in officially at 114.12 pounds. Coming to us from Huigalpa, Nicaragua, he brings a professional record consisting of 10 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw. 4 of his 10 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the challenger, Juan Carlos Martinez Urbina. And his opponent across the ring, he is the defending champion, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing green and blue and weighed in officially at 114.1 pounds. Hailing from right here, Liverpool, England, he is undefeated with 13 wins. 12 of his 13 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending WBA International Super Flyweight Champion, Jack El Daddy Hair Turner.
Special talent Jack Turner. Here's your final instructions.
Right, as you'd expect from you both, you obey me instructions at all times. When I tell you to break, you both break clean. Defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves.
He might look like a 12-year-old choir boy, but he doesn't punch like one, let me tell you. This boy is quick out the blocks. 12 knockouts in 13 super flyweight fights. He's a special talent coming out of the Rotunda. Still to come, Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa will be our main event tonight on Fight Night Live. But for now, it's Jack Turner taking on Juan Carlos Martinez Urbina, and calling you through it on Fight Night Live here on talkSPORT, it's Spencer Oliver and John Rawling.
Thank you very much, and good evening. If you're just joining us for the first time, you've missed some terrific action already. If you've not opened that beer or made yourself a cup of tea, well, for goodness sake, just wait a moment or two, because this fight could be explosive and it certainly could be very quick. No big punches landed yet. 2 body shots thud in from Turner, and the referee says to him, keep your punches up. And the Nicaraguan is given a little bit of time to recover from those low shots.
Yep, they did stray low there, but as you said, Jack Turner really is a phenomenal puncher. 12 of those 13 inside the distance, 6 of those in the first round, another 2 of those in the second round. So you're right, don't blink, don't switch off the radios, keep watching the YouTube, because this kid is explosive.
And if you get any of those big punches anywhere near the crown jewels, I can only assume that they are massively, massively painful, which is why Urbina was given a little bit of time to recover.
Yeah, absolutely. Urbina felt the weight of those shots, didn't he? And he's going to have to be on the ball here, because as you saw there, big right hand went in, and a delayed reaction from Urbina. He just seemed to look unsteady there.
There was a little bit of a sense that it came from the inside of the glove. 2 more big body shots from Newton. Urbina not backpedaling yet. He's got his gloves up high, though. He doesn't want to be taking those big shots anywhere near the head. And Newton, of course, is looking, Turner rather, is looking for the opportunity to land shots precisely in that area and maybe finish this quickly. He'll be looking for another first-round knockout if he can find this.
Yep, he will, as he takes centre of the ring and he slams a jab out there. Urbina just with his hands held high, standing in front of Turner, but Turner is very, very explosive.
Just waiting his opportunity. The gloves still high of the Nicaraguan, and he tried to land a right-handed Turner. It was taken on the forearm. Then he gets a left hand around the back of the defensive right-hand glove, which finds a glancing blow to the head. Tried to throw an overhand right down the tube. Again was blocked by the Nicaraguan, who hasn't really landed anything of note himself yet in this opening round.
Well, he's doing the right thing here, Juan Carlos Martinez, by keeping his hands held high and not taking any chances, because as he would have seen and studied, Jack Turner is that explosive kid who carries dynamite in either hand, and one false move here and it's checkmate.
Significantly the taller guy is Turner, and now it's Martinez Urbina who pulls him close in a clinch, and the referee Mark Lyson steps between them. Jab from Martinez Urbina is short of the target. Turner just waiting for the smaller man to commit himself and maybe land a huge punch as he does so. But we're into the last 10 seconds of what's been a quiet opening round. Surely Turner has won it, because there's not been too much come back. Oh, no, he did certainly won it now. He's put him down with an absolute peach of a left hook, almost on the bell. Referee's looking closely at him. The talk goes on, the count goes on, and he's going to allow him to continue, but he goes back to his corner very unsteadily, and what a great left hand that was.
Oh, beautiful shot that went round the side of the guard there. Urbina was holding his hands out in front of him. Turner sensed it, and he just feinted his jab, whipped the left hook round the side, and it was a delayed reaction. Urbina went down, you see it landing flush on the jaw, and I've got to tell you, John, he was in desperate trouble when he got up there. The referee was asking him to walk forward. He was talking to him, but the kid did not know where he was. Luckily for him, or is it lucky for him, that he's gone back to the corner and he's going to be sent out again for this second round, because as you know, John, Turner's explosive and he's vicious with it as well.
If I was in that corner, knowing what Turner can do, I think there's certainly an argument that he shouldn't be coming out, but he's going to come out now into the second round, and Turner is going looking for another explosive knockout win. When he was asked about how this fight would go, he just sort of shrugged his shoulders and in that boyish sort of manner said, well, I'm going to win by knockout, and it's looking as though it's certain that that's how this is going to end.
Yep, just looped the right hand over to skim the whiskers there of Urbina. And I tell you what, he's in a big, big trouble here, because Turner lands one shot and he will capitalise on it. The left hook goes in again and the body shot goes in. Urbina tries to trade with him. The wrong thing he can do. The legs have gone stiff again.
He landed a right to the head, and as the referee pushes him back, he almost stumbled back. The little Nicaraguan, who's some 3 or 4 inches shorter than Turner, who's coming in now looking for one big punch, which surely in this second round would be enough to finish this. He's trying to measure him, aims a right to the body. Now Urbina ties him up, and Turner can't find the headshot that he desperately wants.
Yeah, well, Urbina now on the defensive, moving around the perimeter of the ring. Turner stalking forward, looking for that big shot. The jab goes out. The right hand just narrowly misses. Urbina comes back with a shot. They tie up inside. Turner, again, all a bit scrappy on the inside. Juan Carlos Martinez. Urbina complaining to the referee here. But I think he's just buying a bit of time, John.
Well, he's also being told that any more of that, he had him in an arm lock, and he said, any more of that and I'll take a point off you. We now carry on in this second round with 1 minute 20 seconds to go. Turner had his man down with the last punch of that opening round. Good jab from Turner. Tries to follow up with a chopping overhand right, and the Nicaraguan saw it coming. Juan Carlos Martinez Urbina, and slipped inside it and survives for a few more seconds. He's looking for another big left hook here, Turner. Yeah. Flat-footed as he goes across the ring, and now he lands a big shot to the body. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry, John. I was saying he was slipping and sliding, trying to be a bit creative. Was he going to go to the body? Was he going to throw the left hook, the looping right hand? You can just sense he's looking for the big finish here, the showreel finish. Will he get it with 30 seconds to go in round number 2?
Joe McNally, the main man from the Rotunda gym, is the trainer in the Turner corner, and we'll see what he's got to say at the end of this round, provided it goes to that point. Liam Smith, his most famous protege and success story, is in that corner as well. Good left hand again from Turner, and somehow this time Martinez survives, hanging on, buying precious seconds. Another big round that to Turner, and we go now into that corner where Joe McNally is the voice that you'll speak once he gets back from having a word with the referee.
Scared? Yeah, but listen, he's got experience, son, okay? I want a little change in the headlights all the time. Wait, just set a feint, set a feint. He comes lunging in that cab, just take the half a step and walk him onto the counter, okay? Don't let him hold you. Just keep your hands by your chest, half a step, pop, walk him into the counter, okay? He's felt your power, but now you've got to disguise it, son. Your jab's beautiful, mix the variety of it, but you got him. Don't forget the body, son.
You need to make it.
Yeah, what he don't see is going to catch him, okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic work.
It is back at throat, he's only going to claim you. Just be a way to step back and come through.
Second voice you heard there was that of Liam Smith.
And that was the ring walk music of Liam Smith that we heard playing in the round there as well. There you go.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. The voice there of Spencer Oliver.
Absolute pleasure, my friend.
Into the third round of this 10-rounder for the WBA International Super Flyweight title, and it is being dominated by another fighting Scouser, Jack Turner, who's right on top at this point. Comfortable first round, which he emphasised by putting his man down with a left hook right on the bell to end that opening round, and then dominating the second round as well. And now it's all Turner as he thuds in 2 more big body shots as the referee has to split them.
Yeah, Urbina is really struggling with the power here of Jack Turner, who's really slamming those left hooks to the body and to the head, landing some big shots again there. And I said, Urbina now is really negative, moving on the outside and really in survival mode.
Referee splits them once more and has a little word with Turner about a punch which went around the back of the head, which of course is illegal. Good body shot from Turner, left hand, and Martinez Urbina sort of stumbles into him, and he's told off by the referee for pulling his man onto him and illegally clinching. That's the second time he's been advised about that sort of thing, one more transgression, and I'm sure he's going to lose a point.
Yep, I think so as well, but what else can he do in there, because he's under some heavy firepower. Turner switching the shots from body to head. Every shot's a power shot, as we saw there. Right hook to the body, narrowly misses with a left hook to the head.
Students of the sport might remember the name Edwin Valero, a South American who won every fight seemingly by massive knockouts. He's now no longer with us, lost his life some years ago, but he says, Jack Turner, that he models himself on Edwin Valero, and you can certainly see a bit of it, because there's no sweet skills of boxing and there's everything gambled on landing massive punches.
Absolutely, and that's what puts bums on seats. Edwin Valero was that guy. 27 fights, 27 wins, 27 KOs before eventually taking his own life. Terrible story. One of my favourite titles of the time.
He's going to go here. He's going to go. Big right hand from Turner, and desperately holding on Martinez Urbina. The referee splits, and he's going to have another look at him here, and he's been holding on again, and this time he's going around the ring and telling the judges that he's taking a point away, and quite rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely. The referee doing a good job there, and I just see Juan Carlos Martinez looking down at his corner, shaking his head. He doesn't want this anymore. He knows he's on the end of some heavy firepower, and the fight has all but been knocked out of him here. 10 seconds to go in round number 3, and this could be very close to being over.
You sense that one more punch might do it. We're going to go to Gareth A. Davis at the end of this round. If it goes there, here comes Turner again. Huge punches going in, and the referee has to split them. You better make this good, Gareth, because I don't think you're going to get another chance.
Well, I've got to say that Martinez Urbina is being bullied a little bit, not just by Jack Turner, but the referee, John Latham. I felt like he's had the hard end of the stick all night. Listen, he's going to get beaten in a minute. Let me just go there. What, these two guys, have you not noticed it? They look like weight divisions apart. Jack Turner's a massive super flyweight, really big, powerful legs. All that power that he puts into those huge winging left and right hooks. Really dangerous fighter. The powerful legs that Naz Ahmed once had. He's a brilliant guy to watch. He's a phenomenal fighter. The Nicaraguan is game, but we are, as you say, John, I got a little bit of an interlude to speak before the fight ends this round.
It will end this round as well. Of that, I'm pretty much 99.9% certain.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure. I'm not sure he's going to come out the corner, actually, but I disagree with Gareth. I think the referee is being quite lenient with him. This kid, he's tying him up. You know, this is called prize fighting, and he didn't want to fight, and the referee now, John Latham, has called it off.
He didn't answer the bell, and the referee had no option than to say, that's it, enough is enough. And I'm sure that Juan Martinez Urbina knew better than anybody that the game was up, that he was getting smacked from pillar to post. And Jack Turner, who is very much a Scouse star in the making, had absolutely blitzed him.
Absolutely, listen, he's exciting inside those ropes. We've seen it there, the comparisons to the late, great Edwin Valero. You know, when you're talking about fighters like that, fighters of that magnitude, and you're getting compared to them at this young age, you know, that's only an honour. And we saw another brutal finish there from Jack Turner. You can't actually blame Juan Carlos Martinez for quitting on his stool, because he was doing everything he was to survive, trying everything he was. The referee wasn't letting him get away with anything, punishing him for tying his opponent up, and now the only way he was out, and that was out on your back or being pulled out in the corner. Luckily for him, it was out in the corner.
Now, Jack, you look at him physically, he's clearly going to be able to go up by one weight division at least, maybe a couple of weight divisions. He's going to make real statements in big fights as his career unfolds if he keeps being matched well. He's now well, he's putting together win after win, 13 stoppages in 14 straight victories. It's going to take something special to beat him.
I've got to tell you, arguably the biggest puncher in British boxing right now. When you look at that, you go, yeah, all right, he's at that level where you do get the opportunity to blow a lot of opponents away, but you look at this kid, you look at the punch power, you know, you listen to the team, Joe McNally and all the boys, and, you know, the Smiths, and they talk about this kid having this freakish, phenomenal punch power, and he, you know, entertains, he fights with his heart on his sleeve. The paying public love that, and you know what, at the weigh-in yesterday, John, I tell you something about this kid who looks like a choir boy, who's like quite shy and reserved, and the weigh-in yesterday, when he gets into fight mode, I saw the change, the red mist come over him. There's a little something to like about this kid, he's got it.
Definitely, it's power, isn't it? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 completed rounds of boxing, the red corner retires their fighter, and our referee in charge, John Latham, accepts their retirement. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, and still WBA International Super Flyweight Champion, Jack and Daddy Hair Turner.
Another day, another knockout victory for Jack Turner. Looking forward immensely to the step up and a more superior challenge. Very exciting times ahead for him. Very exciting times ahead for us as well, because we've got Nick Ball versus Brandon Figueroa, and that is coming up very, very shortly right here on talkSPORT. Boxing is changing. The days of a straightforward title defence are becoming fewer as the demand for proper fights grows greater. The only current British world title holder to have already defended his crown is back again tonight in his most toughest challenge to date since winning that title. Can the 5'2" Nick Ball dismantle the 5'9" former world champion Brandon Figueroa? It's a tall order for Fight Night on talkSPORT.
When people are watching boxing, they like watching exciting fights.
He is what his name says, the wrecking ball.
My fights are always exciting.
The wrecking ball!
He's a cracking shot from Ball. Oh, fantastic.
There's a big left hand from Ball, far side of the ring.
He's undefeated and look, he's very, very popular in Liverpool. He wants to fight at Anfield.
People are going to continue to watch and tune into my fights at the highest level, which is world champion.
Irrepressible. Ball seems unstoppable.
When I'm fighting, it's all action in it, especially in Liverpool.
We're in Liverpool at the M&S Bank Arena for Fight Night Live. World Championship boxing tonight as Nick Ball defends his world title for the 4th time against former world champion Brandon Figueroa. I'm Adam Catterall. It is a pleasure, as always, to be in your company for these big moments. And alongside me, for these big moments, more often than not, is the one and only Mr. Gareth A. Davies. We've already had some fantastic action so far this evening, but let's be honest, the reason why these fans have come out tonight is to see the world champion defend his crown, and tonight is his toughest task today.
Look, we're in Liverpool. It's always brilliant to be here. It's a republic of boxing. It's a republic in itself. The noise tonight, the support for all the fighters. We've had, as you say, we've had some spectacular action. Watch it back on the YouTube channel. It's just extraordinary. Nick Ball tonight stands at the cusp of being an elite fighter globally. He had a brilliant performance against Ray Vargas 2 years ago. Should have held the WBC title. Had an even better performance against Ray Ford. Won the WBA title. Has held it for a year and a half. Has defended it 3 times. He's got a brilliant opponent in front of him tonight, Adam, in Brandon Lee Figueroa. A dangerous, tall, volume puncher who will come and meet him in the centre of the ring. It will deliver this fight. It's his hardest fight for Nick Ball since that Ray Ford victory. I really hope he starts with aggression, with relentlessness and with accuracy, because he's going to need it.
And we're live on talkSPORT and the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, where you can like and subscribe us for more boxing content throughout the whole course of the week. The watch along from Liverpool is active right now. Please come and join us. If you want to join in the comment section, you're more than welcome to do so. If I can bring in one half of our commentary team, Spencer Oliver, to talk about this main event tonight. Gareth just highlighted there that he's expecting fireworks. Let me just give you a little bit of information on the man that's standing across from Nick Ball tonight. Lots of people know Nick Ball now. They know that he's a high-volume type of fighter, throws with real bad intentions every single time he throws. But we're talking about Brandon Figueroa, who averages 92 punches per round. That's high output, and he has a 73% knockout ratio against very, very good operators, the likes of the Louis Neary's of this world, who he stopped in the weight division below, granted, but it's still a stoppage on his record. This is a no-joke title defence tonight, Spence.
Yeah, absolutely. Figueroa, you know, he's more decorated, actually, than Nick Ball. He's a world champion at 2 different weights. He's boxed at that highest level for some time now. 19 of his 26 victories have come inside that distance, KOs, and he's been mixing at a high level, by the way, as well. And you're right in what you say there, over 1,000 punches a fight. For people that don't understand that, don't know that, that is a phenomenal amount of punches. This kid brings it, he's a switch hitter, he'll go straight at Nick Ball. This stylistically has the potential to be fight of the year, because we know Nick Ball, he uses that lack of height to his advantage, he manoeuvres around the ring, and he springs into action with those bursts of punches. But at some point, he's going to have to sit in the pocket and he's going to have to fight it out with Figueroa. This is a potential banana skin, as I say, and Nick Ball's toughest assignment today.
Just to give you a little bit more information, Nick Ball's average is around about 70 punches per round. Like I said there, Brandon Figueroa, 92. These guys have got very, very high output. A lot's been made of the height difference. of 7 inches between the two of them coming into this particular fight. There's a lot of real estate there. There's a big torso, isn't there, for Nick Ball to attack. Is that how you're anticipating him to approach this evening?
Absolutely. 7 inches in height advantage for Figueroa at 5'9" versus the pocket battleship of Nick Ball, who's 5'2". And as you will know, Spencer, when you fought taller opponents, when they're throwing a lot of punches, it also, and more than you, it exposes you for the counterattacks. Stylistically, it suits Nick Ball, but I want to see him better than he was in the defence against Sam Goodman in Riyadh, and better than he was in the defence against TJ Doherty. In both fights, he took time to establish. I want him to sit on his punches tonight, but also move out of trouble at times as well.
The thing is that goes against Nick Ball coming into this fight is that Brandon Figueroa loves this style of opponent. Look at the way that he dealt with Luis Nery. Aggressive, come forward, knocked him out. Magdaleno, Magseo, those types of fighters, he's proven against this level of fighter before.
Switch hitter, he knows the game, like he knows how to control that space. You know, if you look at a common opponent, someone like Ray Vargas, who was 5'10", by the way, an inch taller even than Figueroa, you know, Nick Ball had to go through all sorts of things there, but he could adjust, he could adapt. Yeah, it was a draw, but he was robbed blind. He won the fight, absolutely clearly. But Nick Ball's shown that he can adapt and deal with styles like that. But this kid here, Figueroa, he's got a higher output. He's tough. And by the way, keep an eye out for this one. I'm going to call it early. Massive body puncher.
Yeah.
Forget that Nick Ball's 5'2" and Figueroa's 5'9".
On the inside rather than long as well.
He's an unbelievable worker on the inside. John Rawling, we'll bring you in on that one. Like, you know the Mexican style, what they're like. Doesn't matter if they're tall, small, they all seem to be great body punchers. And Figueroa is that guy.
They're all come forward fighters, aren't they? They have that, I think you used the word machismo before, and they all have that sort of facet in their fighting character, and Brandon Figueroa is no exception. He might be long and lean, he might be a mover, but he's also a switch hitter, and he's also, above all, he's aggressive. That's where he gets his spectacular knockouts. And I'd go along with what you've been saying. He's got to be right at his best here tonight, Nick Ball, if he's going to win this one. I've got massive respect for him as a fighter, and he's hugely popular in this part of the world. I hope he wins it, and I'm not supposed to say that, am I? I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I do hope he wins. But he's going to have to produce arguably the best performance of his career.
And we might have to see some different stuff from Nick Ball tonight. Yeah, he knocks everybody out. Yeah, he comes dead aggressive. But in the Isaac Dogby fight, we highlighted this a little earlier on, that yes, he tried to knock Dogby out. Dogby didn't go anywhere, and then we saw the boxing skills. We might need to see a little bit of fleet footwork tonight, as maybe Figueroa doesn't go anywhere, because nobody else has stopped him before.
No, listen, Figueroa ain't going nowhere. He's one of these guys, man. I told you, he's teaked tough. He's boxed at the highest level. You know, box people with punch power like Nick Ball's. You know, with boxing IQ like Nick Ball's. Nick's going to have to be at the top of his game here today, you know, to pull off this victory against a tough season campaigner who's still very much in the prime. Only lost to Stephen Fulton a couple of times, and they were in close fights. No shame in that one. But yeah, it's a tough night's work for Nick Ball.
Let's get the thoughts of George Warren, shall we? Because he's with Gareth A. Davies right now.
He is. George is here with me. Good evening, George. Big fight for Nick Ball tonight against an amazing opponent as well. A moment for him to climb into the division.
Yeah, listen, look, he's done everything that's been asked of him so far. It's amazing we're here in a packed-out Liverpool arena. We've just seen his stablemate Jack Turner put in great performances. We need him another performance. British boxing is back on a roll. We've got 6 world champions. We want to keep it that way at the end of the night.
Is the Inoue Nui talk going to go bigger if he wins decisively tonight?
Look, it's a fight that everyone in those weight divisions wants because he's the money fight. But Nick can't focus on that. He needs to get through tonight. And if he does, this big unification fight, I'd love to see if we can get one of the Americans over here for him. If not, he's shown that he will travel. He's been to Riyadh. He'll go to America. He'll go to Japan. He's boxing through and through. That's all he wants to do.
And Liverpool, it's always brilliant. I say it's like the Republic of Boxing coming here, isn't it?
Yeah, they love their local boxers, and we've got some real talent, and it's all being built off the success of Nick and what Paul's been doing in that gym with them guys. So look, long may it continue. Enjoy it. I'm going to get to the fight.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
George Warren there just giving us a little bit of insight onto what might happen off the back of this, but he's got to come through this fight tonight, Nick Ball. And Brandon Figueroa, what an opportunity for him as well. Two-time world champion, 2 different weights, an opportunity to get right back to the top of the tree once again.
Absolutely, huge opportunity. You know, he don't mind big travelling, he don't mind fighting on foreign soil. He recognises the opportunity, and that's exactly what it is at this stage of the game. It's opportunity. You know, he's been around the game a long, long time. There's some great champions in this weight division. You know, Shushu, Bruce Carrington, he's a great fighter. He had a great win for the WBC title the other night. These unifications are there. Forget Noya Inoue. Yeah, he's the one that everyone wants. You know, I think that if he comes through this one, Nick Ball, there's big unification bouts to make in the division before them sort of fights.
No, I think you've nailed it there. Listen, as George Warren just said to Gareth Davis, Noya Inoue is the money fight. Everybody knows who that is, but he's in a different weight division. Noya Inoue will probably go down the route of maybe a Junto Nakatani fight at some point before he makes his way into Nick Ball's division. The fight for me, if he can come through tonight, with him being a Riyadh season ambassador, Shushu Carrington, if that materialises this year, that for me is an absolute belter. Carrington's been fantastic over in the States. He's now the WBC champion. Big unification. You can stick a Ring Magazine belt on that as well. And I tell you what, that's a super fight for the division.
Absolutely, and this is number 3 versus number 7 in the Ring Magazine rankings for this fight. I don't know if you said it while I was over there with George Warren. 2 things: be first and use your hand speed, Nick Ball, because he's probably got faster hand speed than his opponent tonight.
Listen, we've just seen his mate get asked some serious questions, haven't we, in Andrew Kane? There might be some serious questions tonight for Nick Ball. We're going to find out about his minerals tonight, aren't we?
100%, and I'll tell you something now, yeah, use your footwork, use your hand speed, use your IQ, stay away as long as possible, but guess what, boys? He's going to have to sit in the pocket, he's going to have to get down in the trenches.
Worldwide on DAZN, let's now welcome to the ring our main event participants. First, the challenger from the United States, Brandon the Heartbreaker Figueroa.
Here he comes, Brandon Figueroa, the former 2-time world champion, nicknamed the Heartbreaker. He's gone full Brett, the Hitman Hart on us this evening. Draped in black, splattered with pink, with a rip-roaring guitar to bring him towards the centre of this ring as he stands on the podium, just taking in the energy. Interesting fact, as a professional, this is the first time that he has fought outside of the States. That could be big if this Liverpool crowd get going.
Oh, it's even bigger for Nick Ball as well, that they will not want to lose. He will not want to lose in front of his home crowd, like his stablemates and fellow Liverpudlians tonight. Brandon Lee Figueroa, to give him his full name. He's brought a big team with him here. He fancies this, because remember, he's after redemption after 2 losses to Stephen Fulton.
One of them really contentious as well, Gary.
Really contentious. He's a brilliant fighter. He might even change his tactics slightly against Nick Ball tonight, lapping it up, enjoying the moment. He looks very cool, calm and collected. Both of these are world-level fights, as Spencer said. More decorated, really, than Nick Ball. It's brilliant to see him there in the ring.
And now let's welcome to the ring the undefeated defending world champion from right here, Liverpool, England, Nick the Wrecking Ball.
Hey, yo, man. What's taking on me so long, son? Calm down.
How can you not love a ring walk to a little bit of 50 Cent and Many Men? Sending that message that he's not to be messed with, and he's made no messing whatsoever, Nick Ball. Straight off the podium, straight to the ring, straight to the apron, and bouncing into the ring to a raucous applause from this Liverpool faithful. Draped in black, very Tyson-esque. He fights like Mike Tyson, every single shot with bad intentions. Can he land one of those big bombs tonight on the big chin and big torso of Brandon Figueroa?
It's a big moment for him because, like you say, he's a mini Mike Tyson. They love him here. Whenever we interview him on talkSPORT, he's always sitting in his car. And the other thing about him is he and his trainer Stevenson never shout about themselves, and this is his moment to make a lot of noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the WBA Featherweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by Frank Warren for Queensberry, in association with TGB Promotions, along with their great sponsors, Riyadh Season, Unibet, That Prize Guy, 32 Red, and Global Next Trade. A big thanks to those great sponsors. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge Suzanne Potts, along with the World Boxing Association. President Gilberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor Robert Mack, Timekeeper Phil Morris. The judges are Glenn Feldman, Jean Robert Lane, and Marcus McDonald. Our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Steve Gray. And now, boxing fans joining us live worldwide, and boxing fans here in Liverpool, England. The hour of truth has arrived. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he comes to the ring wearing black with neon green, pink, and blue, and weighed in officially at 125.14 pounds. Coming to us from Weslaco, Texas, USA, he brings a professional record consisting of 26 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 19 of his 26 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the mandatory challenger and the former 2-division champion of the world, Brandon the Heartbreaker Figueroa! And his opponent across the ring in this main event, he is the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing black trunks and weighed in officially at 125.11 pounds. Hailing from right here, Liverpool, England, he is undefeated with 23 wins, 1 draw, 13 wins come by way of knockout. Tonight, making his 4th world title defense, here is the fearless, relentless, reigning and defending WBA Featherweight Champion of the World, Nick the Wrecking Bull!
Okay, I'm happy with your waistbands, so keep your punches off the shorts. For cold break, I expect you to take 1 step back. Don't throw any deliberate punches around the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Go on, lads.
There we have it. The size difference is obvious to all that can see, but as Nick Bull says, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. This is by far the toughest world title defense today. Calling you through our main event between Nick Bull and Brandon Figueroa, live from Liverpool on talkSPORT. It's Spencer Oliver and John Rowling.
By some 7 inches, Figueroa, the taller man, that's the instant problem that Bull has got to solve. He tries to throw a left hand to the body, and Figueroa just walked back out of range and responded with a left to the body of his own. Tries to throw a left hand lead taken on the gloves by Bull, who evades a right-hand lead. Figueroa fighting out of a southpaw stance right now and brings in a left hand to the body. He's a switch hitter. He can go either way, and already in the first 30 seconds, that's precisely what he's doing.
Yep, just trying to confuse Nick Ball at the start of this one. He normally fights out of the orthodox stance. A big uppercut went in there from Nick Ball, and Figueroa felt the weight of that one.
It rocked his head back. His floppy dark hair flew through the air, and an instant response from the crowd as now he pulls Ball in close and tries to thud away to body with little pitter-pat shots. No power in them though. Reaches out with a southpaw right-hand lead. The best punch of this round so far clearly has come from Ball, who's trying to, in the early stages, show that he's the man with the power, the man with the aggression. Goes for a right hand to the body, and Figueroa covers up well and ties Ball up. Referee Steve Gray having a close look, and he splits them.
Yeah, you can see the physical strengths with Nick Ball, can't you? He looks physically the stronger man of the two. He started very well here. Nick Ball, Figueroa trying to confuse himself a little bit there. I think keeps switching from orthodox to southpaw. He hasn't settled yet, but Nick Ball has.
Ball gets into a corner and he's taking a couple of shots to the body. There's another big uppercut from Ball, rocked back the head of Figueroa. That's been his spectacularly successful punch so far. One left hand, and this time a right hand onto the chin of the tall, gangling figure of Figueroa.
Yeah, good work this from Nick Ball, who's just controlling the space in there at the moment, hands held high, waiting for the opportunity to pounce and explode with those shots, those barrage of shots that he throws.
No power in these shots from Figueroa. Throws a left hand and a right hand, but taken on the gloves by Ball, who's keeping a peekaboo sort of look. Goes for another big left uppercut. This time he was short of the chin of Figueroa. Almost landed a big right hand. Figueroa spun him around and made Ball look a little bit off balance. Left hand from Ball. Just a glancing blow to the head of Figueroa, and the referee says to Ball, listen, if I say break, break. Closing seconds of this opening round. And there goes the bell, and I think by virtue of those two terrific uppercuts, Ball probably takes that first.
Oh, definitely. Nick Ball was the one that slipped into the rhythm there in that opening round. He found his range, worked well behind the jab. Figueroa has picked up a bad mark over the right eye as well, a black eye. It seems to be they're working on in that corner, but what a start there from Nick Ball. No messing around, didn't take his time to feel it out there, took the play away from Figueroa, who spent too much time switching from orthodox to southpaw and confused himself many times in there, John. He didn't settle at all, and Nick Ball, dominant first round.
We're at the M&S Bank Arena here in Merseyside, in Liverpool, on talkSPORT. It's our main event. Nick Ball defending the WBA World Featherweight title against Brandon Figueroa, and Ball has taken the opening round. We move now towards round two. Tall figure of Steve Gray, the referee, indicates to the fighters, step in and get it moving again. And there's only one man trying to force the pace in the fight. Oh, another lovely left hand from Ball. Rocks back Figueroa's head for maybe the third time already. And now Figueroa moves forward and gets into range and works away well inside. Couple of clubbing blows with his left hand.
Yeah, screw shot from Nick Ball there with that left hand, turn it up into like a hook, come uppercut, split through the guard there of Figueroa. Figueroa just can't work it out at the moment. Nick Ball, John, uses that lack of height to his advantage.
Referee telling both men, keep your punches up. Not necessarily advantage, of course, being the taller man, because punching down isn't always the easiest. Good uppercut again from Ball as Figueroa got in close and landed a left hand to the body, and then display of physical strength from Ball as he casts Figueroa off as they get in close.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? You can see the physical strength of the shorter Nick Ball, and he's working well. The timing with a jab for a guy that's 7 inches shorter, and it's probably 7 inches shorter reach as well. It's incredible how he's beating Figueroa to the jab.
Well, it sometimes happens, doesn't it? You get the smaller man who's got the timing, and it negates the reach advantage. Solid left hand to the body from Bull. There was a right uppercut counter from Figueroa, but the powerful shots came from Bull. Figueroa's onto the front foot now, trying to unload on the ropes on the far side there. Bull does a neat job of turning him off those ropes and starting to try and dominate on the towards centre ring. Nothing between them though in that clinched exchange. Referee splits them once more. Minute to go in round two. Two more good right hands from Bull.
Yeah, there's a laboured look around Figueroa's punches, but we know that anyway. There's no real snap, no sense of urgency on the shot, but there's a high output, and Nick Ball at the moment, the crisp punching is the telling factor so far.
Well, this would have been the start that Paul Stevenson and Nick Ball would have been hoping for. They'll have said, they'll have worked out a game plan, and I'm sure part of it will have been in the early stages, get in there and establish a rhythm, land some quality shots early, and there again the crowd responds. Good body shots from Bull, nice right hand counter inside from Figueroa, but the weightier shots were coming from the smaller champion, the 5'2" figure of the Liverpudlian Nick Bull. Right hand lead from Figueroa. Bull comes back with a right-hand counter, misses with a big left hand over the top. Figueroa right to the body, and the left hand from Bull. What a good round, and what a good round for Nick Bull. We'll get another voice of interpreting here. Here's Gareth Davis.
Oh, what a thrilling start to the fight. When Nick Bull's on the inside, throwing those screw shots, as you say, those uppercuts, he's reminiscent of the shape of Mike Tyson in against much taller, bigger heavyweights during his time. This is the fight he needed to start with. The way the pattern is, his timing's excellent at the moment. As you say, closing the distance, even winning the jab battle at times. Perfect start from Nick Ball. I got him 2 rounds well ahead, and he clearly has the power advantages, gentlemen.
He's got the power advantages, he's got the boxing advantages as well, Spencer.
Yes, he certainly has, and he's got the physical strength advantages as well. So he's ticking all the boxes in there, Nick Ball, and we know what he does. He chips away, slowly, systematically breaks his opponents down, and he's going to have to try and do that with Figueroa, but can he crack him? It's a tough nut to crack.
Good left hand from Bull, first scoring shot of the round, and another one, left uppercut, rocked back the head of Figueroa once more, and the left hand in close from Bull, as Figueroa will not take a backward step, and he's trying to land shots inside of his own, but Bull does well to counter, to parry, to stifle, and then allows Figueroa to regroup, get his gloves up high. He tries to come through with a left-handed screw shot. It was well short of the target. Figueroa switches to southpaw, a couple of half-hearted pitter-pat jabs, and now it's Bull who allows him to come inside, and the referee has to split them. Yeah. Southpaw again from Figueroa. Is that switching of stance? Is that going to be disconcerting to Nick Ball?
Well, it does affect some fighters because they like boxing orthodox as opposed to southpaws. Southpaws can be awkward, but Nick Ball, no, he's finding his shot selection, body shots are well, the screw shots to the head, landing the right hands, and what we're seeing here from Figueroa is he recognises that he's a little bit off the pace, and he's trying to draw Nick Ball into a dogfight, making it a long, hard fight.
Well, he's having something a better round so far in this third is Figueroa, as Bull misses with a big left hook. Forward comes Figueroa, trying to work inside, working inside the pockets, as they say, working close. There's a left hand off the ropes from Bull, and now it's Figueroa on the front foot again, as Bull comes back with a left-handed body shot. Once more, the power seems to lie with Bull, but the volume of punches in this round coming from Brandon Figueroa, and the referee is speaking to both men here, and he's going to tell them about keeping it clean, getting it tidied up.
Yeah, stylistically, these two don't fight like that. Figueroa's a guy that likes to get down and dirty and graft in the trenches, and Nick Ball's that guy as well. So the referee, Steve Gray, is going to have a job in his hands tonight, and we always knew that it was going to be like this. full of action-packed work from both guys as Nick Bull just wings the right hand over and misses narrowly.
Figueroa making Bull miss quite a lot in this round and maybe landing more scoring shots. There's 1, 2, 3 to the body from Figueroa. No great power in them, but they got through and they found the target. And that's what it's all about. Hit and make your opponent miss.
Yeah, it's all about slipping into a rhythm, and Figueroa's found that rhythm in this round for sure. I think he was surprised by Nick Bull's speed and shot selection in those opening 2 rounds, but he's now starting to find a rhythm, and like I say, he's starting to drag Bull into a dogfight here, John.
And this is much better work from Figueroa. He has Bull trapped in his own corner on the far side, and the referee splits them. Last 10 seconds of this 3rd round, which for me is clearly going to the challenger, Brandon Figueroa, the 29-year-old Texan. That's a round for him as they go back to the corners now, and that was a clear round for Figueroa.
Yeah, he slipped into a rhythm there and he done what he had to do. Listen, it's never going to be pretty from Figueroa. He's got to do what he's got to do to win, and that is by that high output of punches, working to body, working to head, and he done that and he had success and drawn Nick Bull in.
Let's go into the Bull corner and hear what he's being told.
Both come on to something, just a little bit more output on the counters, okay? First 2 are clear, just a little bit close to that one. Stretch our legs this one.
Bull staying on his feet while he was being spoken to there. Figueroa on his stool to the right-hand side of our commentary position in the red corner, and we go now into round 4, and Bull clearly leading, but now by 2 rounds to 1.
Yep, Figueroa had a better round in that 3rd round, and his instructions there, it was very cool, calm and collected, but I caught the end of it from Paul Stevenson there. He said, let him walk onto it, son, let him walk into it. Just hold your feet, create the space, half a step back, and drill the shots through the middle. That should be the success for Nick Bull here. Figueroa can be a little reckless at times, but landing a lovely right hand through the middle there that sent the sweat spraying from Nick Bull's head.
It was a left-hand lead, and for a moment, as Bull sank back, I think the crowd thought that he'd been caught square and that he was going to go down. Now Bull comes back with a solid left hook, but Figueroa is landing more punches in this round. He's outscoring Bull by volume of punches, if not by weight of shot. Thrown approximately 50 more, according to our ring count, of our punch counters here at ringside. That, of course, doesn't tell the story of the fight. And we've got Bull 2 rounds to 1 ahead. We're now in the 4th. Is Figueroa continue clawing his way back?
He's getting success here, Figueroa. Yeah, Nick Bull is as well, but Nick's got to stay with him on the puncher output here. As he triples up the jab, you can hear the crowd, the 7,500 strong crowd in here, getting behind Nick Bull, because I think they're sensing, they're starting to feel that this one is going to be tough. We always knew it, John, but now it is starting to turn out that way.
The heartbreaker, Brandon Figueroa is landing the volume of shots. Left hand goes low from him, and the referee straight away says, keep your punches up. A few boos from a very partisan crowd here in Liverpool. Left hand, right hand from Figueroa, short of the target, taken on the forearms and gloves of Bull, who tries to land the right hand over the top. But again, first 2 minutes of this 4th round has been a round for Figueroa. There's a good left hand lead from Bull, and the attempted right hand, but Figueroa takes them well, and he's been practicing these short punches, this volume of punches, as he was warming up in his dressing room, and that's what he's edging this round with, maybe.
Yeah, well, good solid last 20 seconds here from Nick Bull as he slams a jab into the face of Figueroa. But you're right, John, he's been working on that short game on the inside, what we call the short game, where Figueroa working the body again there. That's what I said. He's dangerous. He pins Nick Bull on the rope, switches the attacks to the body, and he's trying the short shots up the middle as well, turning into a cracking little contest this.
It is. Frank Warren, as a promoter would say, said this could turn out to be the fight of the year. Certainly the first 4 rounds have been very high quality indeed. That, for me, is another round for the challenger, Brandon Figueroa. Let's see what Adam Catterall rates.
Can't disagree with the commentary so far, gentlemen. Absolutely living up to all our expectations, isn't it? Both guys bringing it really high volume, really high pace. This is going to come down to conditioning down the second half of the fight and whether they can last with each other. We know that Figueroa's done it. We know that this fella, Nick Ball, he does all his high rocks and his CrossFit. Let's see if this transcends into the world of boxing. Just a quick note before I hand back to you. We are live now on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel with a watch along. You're more than welcome to come and join us. On the YouTube channel right now, there is a poll where people who are consuming the poll have been asked a question who they think wins this particular fight. 77% of people believe that Nick Ball will get the job done, with 23% edging towards Figueroa. Right now, though, there's nothing between them.
The very, very partisan crowd could play a part. We've got it dead level at this point, Spencer. Crowd's going to play a big part in this, I sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, John. And, you know, Figueroa, like I said, like, he's the more decorated fighter of these two. He's got that experience. So, you know, he's going to know what he's doing in there. This is going to be tough for Nick. But he starts round 5 well with a lovely uppercut on the inside, followed by a left hook.
Ball needs a round, maybe, to stop Figueroa developing some sort of momentum here. A tall 5'9" Brandon Figueroa against the squat Liverpudlian 5'2" Nick Ball, built like an absolute pit bull. He's stocky, powerful, like a pocket-sized Mike Tyson. And Figueroa comes forward again, outworking Ball, landing more punches and getting better success inside, trying to bring punches up. And is there a reddening around the lips and the nose of Nick Ball? I think there's blood there.
Yeah, there certainly is. It's coming tough. It's becoming very physical, psychological in there now, as well as Brendan Figueroa's doing the job that he set out to do, and that's draw Nick Ball into a fight, and that punch output is big, isn't it? And Nick now starting to show the wear and tear on his face as he's marking up in here. Round 5 is becoming a tough one for Nick Ball.
He needs a big punch. He needs something spectacular to change the momentum again in his favour. Had a great start, Nick Ball, but since the opening round, it's been about the tall Texan Brandon Figueroa. Good jab from Ball. Lands flush on the face of Figueroa, who gets inside and takes another right-hand counter as he does so. Nothing much between them in those close quarter exchanges.
No, there's not. Just approaching the 1 minute mark of round number 5, and the face now looking bloodied of Nick Ball. I'm not sure, John, if that's coming from the nose or the lip. There's a lot of punches going in, and both guys trade blow for blow. Listen to the crowd.
Well, I know you like to talk about throws of the dice and kitchen sink and all the other boxing words of cliche, if you like, but this is that sort of fight. It's going to absolutely take these two guys to the wire. There's going to be absolutely nothing left in the locker over the 12 rounds, and we're only in the 5th.
I think it's fair to say the kitchen sink and the dice are already in, John. I think that's fair to say. Look at this now. This is becoming a battle of the mind as well as the physicalities in there. But the physicalities lead these guys round by round. It's going to be the mental strength. Who wants it most? And that's what it comes down to.
Big right hand from Ball, followed by 2 clubbing hooks towards the head of Figueroa. He's finishing this round strongly. Uppercut as well. Figueroa comes back at him, and there's an old-fashioned exchange of looks as the bell goes, and I think Nick Ball thinks that he won that round.
Yeah, well, it was a tough round, and the action was swinging one way, then the other. Real seesaw of a round there. Figueroa finished it well, and that will be enough, maybe, just maybe, to have nicked the round. Look, it's 3 rounds to 2, one way or the other. I'm just leaning towards Figueroa at the moment. I think he might have just nicked that round. There's an argument there for sure. Nick Ball stands in the corner, taking the advice from his trainer. He looks cool, calm and collected, but so does Figueroa when you look across the corner of the ring. Interesting fight, this one, John. Still there, very much to be won and lost.
2 very experienced and talented fighters. Spencer's got it 3 rounds to 2 in Figueroa's favour. I've got it 3 rounds to 2 in the other direction as you're listening to the World Featherweight title fight, WBA version, here in Liverpool. You're on talkSPORT, the home of boxing, for the big fight of the night. Nick Bull, the champion, against Brandon Figueroa.
Yeah, Figueroa started this round well as well, comes out. He's squatting down to Nick Bull's height at the moment. Nick Bull trying to loop the shots over and catch him over the top, but Figueroa sort of worked it out, hands held high, stalking forward, boxing out the southpaw, starts again, pings out that right jab, doubles up the right jab. Nick Bull waiting for the opportunity to pounce himself, just misses narrowly with a left hook.
After a right to the body, which was a solid straight right-hand lead, which was a scoring punch. But the greater volume of punching, unquestionably, is coming from the challenger, Figueroa, at this stage. And Bull hasn't done a lot in this 6th round so far, although the crowd get excited about a right hand to the body. But Figueroa works away out of the close exchange and lands 3-4 punches before Bull gets the opportunity to respond. Referee splits them. Bull tries to throw an overhand right. It was blocked by Figueroa, who skips back to centre ring. No great power shots one way or the other being landed right now, and this, you sense, is a real key point of the fight.
Yeah, it really is. As we approach the halfway mark of round number 6, Nick Bull with the more eye-catching punches, pull-out power punches, but that consistent flow from Figueroa as he holds centre of the ring, boxing out the southpaw stance, just switch back to orthodox again, doubles up with a jab, but keeps patter with those punches. You can hear the crowd as Nick Bull lets the shots go himself, but nothing really getting through at the moment.
No, there are no power shots there from Bull, although he did put together a 3-punch combination, but no real damage done. Then he tries to lead up with a right hand, drags Figueroa on and pulls him on to 1, 2, 3 right uppercuts. Figueroa back in centre ring, back into the orthodox stance, looking to throw the left-hand lead. Bull misses with a big left uppercut. Figueroa, right-hand counter. Bull misses with a right hand as Figueroa slips inside the punch. Bull close, trying to work inside, but he's not finding the punches that matter. Incidentally, the corner seemed to have pretty much staunched the flow of blood from that damaged nose of Nick Bull. This is a close round, Spencer.
Yeah, it certainly is a close round. Nick Bull doing a good job and catching the eye with the work. He's controlling the space. Lovely 1-2 through the middle there. Figueroa tries to go with him, but the better shot's coming from Nick Bull, and he needed that with just approaching 10 seconds to go of round number 6.
Another close round as we're reaching the halfway stage of the fight. It's a 12-rounder for Bull's WBA World Featherweight title, and we'll go into Bull's blue corner where Paul Stevenson is giving the instructions.
Yes, but still like him backed up a little bit more. There's no need. It's no good when you're pushing him back. He's more, he likes to come forward, don't he? You know what I mean? He'll lean on it. So by all means, catch him coming in, try and get him going backwards, get him going backwards. Difficult. If you get the right hand going to the body and the left to the head. In the gym, with the going through, with the base, it seems like ease, really. Bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? It's just in the middle of the sideways, let's see some of it. Oh, here and there when it's close. Let's get him going backwards. Push him back, push him away, push him away.
Spencer, what do you make of the instructions being given?
Yeah, they're good instructions. Paul Stevenson's a good coach. He's keeping it cool, calm and collected, and that's important. We're in a corner and a fight of this magnitude where, for me, this is now a 6-round fight because I've got it all level after 6 rounds. I'm going to say one thing, John. I think that Nick Bull could be a little guilty of just overthinking and taking that split second too long. There's a rhythm around Figueroa's work, and Nick Bull, yeah, he's creating the space, creating the opportunity, just a little bit slow to get off his work, and that might be costing him.
That last round was another close one. If I could have given it to Nick Bull, I'd have it level at the halfway stage. Other way, I'd have Figueroa 2 rounds up. And it's that sort of fight. The rounds are very close. Figueroa starting the brighter in this 7th round, into the second half, and who's going to be the stronger? This is where all the conditioning and the weeks and weeks of preparation, of stamina work, of sparring. This is where it all comes home.
Absolutely. Listen, they've both got that gladiatorial mindset. They know what they're like. They've been there, seen it, done it, boxed at the highest level. And this one now is going to come down to the toughness and who wants it the most, because both guys are pushing here. It's an opportunity for Figueroa to win that world title back again. And for, you know, Nick Ball, there's a lot on the line here. Unifications, big fights.
1-2 good jabs from Ball before he threw Figueroa to the canvas. I'm told that Figueroa's actually tried to throw more punches, that Ball has actually landed more. That's one interpretation of what's going on. Punch counting from a seat at ringside, and now they're toe-to-toe, head-to-head as they lean back on the ropes, and the referee's going to have to split them once more with just over a minute to go in this 7th round of our main event here on talkSPORT. Nick Ball, the champion, against Brandon Figueroa from Texas. Figueroa, the aggressor, as we move into the last minute of this 7th round. Ducks low, and the referee says, keep your head up. Good jab.
Yeah, eye-catching stuff coming from Nick Ball out that peekaboo style. Figueroa walking onto it. That's what Paul Stevenson said to him. Let him walk on, son. Let him make the mistakes. You just capitalise on it. And Nick Balls are doing a good job of that as we approach 35 seconds of round number 7.
Who's going to have the big 30 seconds at the end? Good left hand from Ball, and the right hand as well. Figueroa tries to come back, but Ball landed the power shots with 25 seconds to go now, here in round 7. And there's a smear of blood around the right side of the nose of Brandon Figueroa. Another uppercut from Ball rocks back Figueroa's head. He's had a lot of success with that punch, the champion. Nick Ball, as they come now into the last few seconds of a dramatic 7th round. Good body shot from Figueroa. Referee tells him, keep your punches up. Adam and Gareth, how are you seeing it?
That was Nick Ball's best round since the first 2 rounds for me. He's just managed to stop the momentum of Figueroa, who I personally thought won 4 rounds on the spin. I've got it 1 round up at the moment of Figueroa. It is tight, but that was very impressive from Nick Ball. He's just managed to keep that defence nice and tight, let his shots go in 2s and 3s, and then get tight again, not get greedy.
Yeah, Nick Ball was brilliant in that round. He was listening to you in the corner. We were chatting about it between rounds. Needs to be more instinctual and go at it like he did then. He's winning the jab on the inside. That screw uppercut is brilliant as well. More of Nick Ball. I've got him 4-3 up in rounds. Some of these rounds are really, really close. But what a fight. It's totally delivering. More of Nick Ball.
I've also got it 4-3 to Ball, but if we had it the other way, I really couldn't mount a very strong argument. It's that sort of fight as Ball tries to jump in behind the left-hand lead. Neither of them landing a clear shot in the first 15 seconds of this, the 8th round. Carl Frampton, incidentally, has got Nick Ball 3 points in front. I've got Ball 1 point in front.
Yeah, I'm with you, John. I've got Ball 1 point in front as well. This is a good start to the round here of Figueroa, who's pinned Nick Ball on the ropes there, slams the right hooks into the body there out of the southpaw stance, and that was good work from Figueroa. Nick Ball, as I said, he needed to build on that last round, John, where he was more instinctive. He wasn't overthinking, and now he's overthinking again.
Well, maybe that's the point, and in pondering just that little bit and delaying, Figueroa is taking the advantage offered and stepping in to land telling punches. Applause from the Nick Ball corner as he lands 1 or 2, 3 quality shots, more counter shots than real shots of aggression, but it's Figueroa who's landing the more in this 8th round. He goes to the canvas, but it was a slip, and the referee gets him back to his feet and gets the action underway again.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and both guys happy to get that action underway. No messing around with these two. No real clinches, both boys working so well. Figueroa switches from southpaw to orthodox again, and what an uppercut there from Nick Ball as he piles in pressure on.
It was a tremendous right hand that rocked back Figueroa's head, and now it's Ball who's on the front foot, trying to bully Figueroa back. misses with a left-hand lead, but the quality shot in there was that right uppercut. He scored emphatically with that throughout. 1-2 jabs from Nick Ball. Again, good scoring shots. Tries to repeat it, short of the mark. Figueroa, left hand, right hand, left hand, out of the southboard stance, onto the gloves of Nick Ball. Doesn't get through with anything by way of a scoring shot. Now he does get in with a right hand to the head and a left to the body, but Ball takes it well and bullies Figueroa back onto the ropes, and the referee splits them.
Yeah, Figueroa really digging his feet into the canvas now, planting his feet and letting those body shots go. He landed a good uppercut as well, but look at the response from Nick Ball as he goes with a screw shot again. But Figueroa won't be denied. The action going one way, and another 20 seconds to go. Round number 8.
Manuel Robles in the Figueroa corner has clearly said, get out there and win this round, and he's trying to do precisely that. Big shots, big hooks to the body. Those are his trademark power shots. Ball takes them well though, and lands another good quality right uppercut inside. I think that's probably a Figueroa round there. He needed it though, Spencer.
I'm telling you, it's one of those fights you go, was it a Figueroa round? I think it was. Nick Ball started so well. Did a minute and a half in, you're thinking Nick Ball's doing well. Clearly winning the round, and Figueroa finds something from somewhere. Where does he find it? Digs his toes into the canvas, drills the body shots in, brings the uppercuts in, and possibly nicks the round. I've got it all level here. I've got this a 4-round fight. The WBA World Featherweight title on the line, and it could be won and lost in these last 4 rounds.
It's been terrific in the first 8 rounds. 4 rounds to go, and here on talkSPORT, the best might be yet to come.
Yeah, absolutely. They are giving it absolutely everything. And Nick Ball still stays on his feet as Paul Stevenson, his trainer, gives him the instructions. Pop out the jab, son. Find the range with a jab, and then let your hands go.
Figueroa quickly off his stool. He's urged forward by his cornermen. They know he's had a good round, but he needs to build on that now. Waiting for Ball to commit himself. Ball doesn't. He waits for Figueroa, who lands a right hand taken on the gloves by Ball. Little sneak left hand from Nick Ball, and another one getting applause from Paul Stevenson in his corner, and another one. All good quality shots from Nick Ball, finding the target and finding it emphatically.
Yeah, he certainly is, and Ball goes for the right hand, just misses narrowly over the top. Figueroa boxing out of a crouch, just popping that southpaw jab out again. Nick Ball holding his hands high, and then comes with some good shots of his own. The edging speed with Ball, but the fluidity is with Figueroa.
Ball is really breathing heavily now in this 9th round, and no surprise, because this is turning into a really grueling, energy-sapping confrontation. Right hand, left hand from Figueroa, off the ropes, a little left hand counter from Ball, but this is good from Figueroa. He's not taking a backward step, and he's piling on the pressure.
Yep, he recognises he's the away fighter. He's in the champion's backyard. He's got to go and rip that title for him, and he's giving it everything. He now knows he's entering the championship rounds, and this is where it can be won and lost, and he's giving it a go here, Figueroa.
He's really pouring it on in this 9th round, powering on with big body shots. Ball's taking them well now, and he regroups, tries to throw a left hand, right hand, aimed towards the head of Figueroa, who keeps his gloves up high. He's back into an orthodox stance, makes Ball miss with an overhand right aimed at the head. Referee splits them again. Steve Gray's been a busy man trying to keep things going. It's not been easy reffing this.
No, it's been a difficult fight to ref. Both guys want it so badly. Nick Ball again with the more eye-catching stuff, but Figueroa keeps popping those shots out like an annoying bee, an annoying fly. They just keep coming.
Figueroa may be doing enough to win this round. 45 seconds to go in round number 9. We're going to be going into the Figueroa corner at the end of this, hearing from Manuel Robles, and Figueroa forces Ball back onto the ropes, landed a good left hand as he did so. Gareth Davis speaks Spanish, which I certainly don't, and so we will have a decent translation for you, hopefully, from what's being said in there, as ball is being made to miss again as he tries to rally off the ropes. 10 seconds to go in this round. Quickly, Spencer, Figueroa wins this one.
Yeah, it's another good round for the challenger here. He's had a good last half of the round. Nick Bull was in it until the last half of the round, and Figueroa, for me, Gareth, took it over.
Here's Manuel Robles in the corner with Brandon Figueroa.
Come on, man. Come on, referee. Come on, man. Carl. Ok, mijo, sube la cabeza. Eso, eso, mijo. Mira, you're averaging 70 punches around. Okay? Dame la toalla. 70 punches around.
Round 10. Round del campeonato, round del campeonato.
Tranquilo, you're averaging 70 punches around, okay? Keep it up. But you need to rip the body, and you need to keep them in the fucking rope. Don't let them get out. Push them back and keep them there. You got that? All right, let's go, baby. You got...
Well, that was in English, of course, and he's saying keep him on the ropes, keep ripping to the body. This is the great Manny Robles that oversaw Andy Ruiz beating Anthony Joshua, remember, and Jorge Linares beating Scott Quigg. Spot on.
So our main event of the night, the WBA World Featherweight title fight. Nick Bull defending his title against Brandon Figueroa, and it's turning out to be a real tough night for Nick Bull.
He's lived up to all expectations. We knew it was going to come down to the wire. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew actually it was Nick Bull's toughest test to date, and it's proving that way.
This is a mandatory challenge. The WBA ordered this one to take place. Figueroa has prepared long and hard. This is his weight for his great world title opportunity. Bull in the 4th defence of the crown he won 2 years ago. Well, is it going to be the last step along the line? Is Figueroa perhaps going to take the title? He's got a chance, most definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely in this fight. It's time to bite down on the gum shield, Nick Bull. You need to get your hands going now. Let's not overthink it. Let's start digging in, punching, matching, punch for punch.
Needs to be almost a fight on the cobbles down here in the old docks of Liverpool, here in the big M&S Bank Arena. 8,000 people watching on, and he tries to rally now, Nick Bull. 2 good jabs, rock back the head of the challenger. Fakes to come with the right hand. Figueroa backs away. Left hand again from Bull, and now Figueroa is tied up as he comes inside. Bull looks as though he's rallying effectively here in the 10th round. There's bruising and scarring developing over Nick Bull's left eye.
Yeah, it's been a tough, brutal fight. This as Nick Bull slams out the jab again. Figueroa's head's jarred back. This is a good round, this for Nick Bull. He's landing the cleaner work. He's controlled the space a little bit here. A little bit reckless from Figueroa. No thought process in what he's doing is he's coming forward. This has become physical now.
Figueroa trying to win this with volume of punches, and Bull is looking for the real quality shots. Lands a couple of good right hands and a left uppercut, and Figueroa is forced to give ground. We've not said that too many times. Typically for a Mexican, he's fought on the front foot. Good left hand from Bull and a right to the body. The crowd urging him on.
Yeah, Nick Bull took the dangerous chance there by leading off with a left hook to the body, left his chin in the air, and Figueroa nearly made him pay the price. Be careful, Nick Bull, 20 seconds to go. Round number 10. This fight could be won and lost in these last couple of rounds.
15 seconds to go in the 10th round. This has been a Bull round for me. He needed it. He needed to stop, turn the tide, which had been flowing quite definitely in the way of the 29-year-old Texan, Brandon Figueroa. I give that one to Nick Bull. Let's see what Adam Cottrell ranked.
Listen, gents, there's 2 rounds now to decide who's going to be world champion. I've got it 5 rounds apiece. I think it's absolutely razor close. Both have had really good moments in this fight. Nick Bull has finally found someone that has the same level of conditioning as him. This is down now to who can find those key moments over the next 6 minutes to try and sway it in their favour. I don't think either of them are getting knocked out. There's the curse of the commentator. They've both been absolutely brilliant. 6 minutes to win it. It's been absolutely fantastic.
But if someone gets an exhausted knockdown in this fight as well, that could well determine this
It'll
as
sway
well.
it, 100%.
I got it 5-5 as well, Adam.
Carl Frampton's got it level as well. I've got it level, and I think Spencer has as well.
Yeah, I'm all in with a level as well. 2-round fight here, boys.
This is going to be pretty special. Slow off his stool is Brandon Figueroa. Nick Bull centering, waiting for him to come to him. 6 minutes to decide it. Who's going to have the most? As Bull tries to start as the aggressor. Good left hand. Glancing blow to the head of Figueroa, and a good left jab again from Bull. Figueroa short with his own jab, taken on the gloves by Bull, who then makes him miss with a right hand over the top, gets his gloves up high. No great power shot from either side as yet. Close in the first 30 seconds of this penultimate round.
Yep, 6 minutes to go here, and the physicalities are leaving these boys, and it's becoming a psychological battle. You can see them both just biting down. The skill set really gone now, and it's becoming tough, rough, grueling, as both guys are in the trenches.
The crowd need to rouse Nick Bull. Brandon Figueroa has his own special motivation. The Tex-Mex Brandon Figueroa, he's in there as a potential winner. It's a huge opportunity for him, trying to take a world title in a third title division, and Bull in his fourth defence, the proud champion trying to retain that crown. What a grueling fight, and whichever way it goes, they're going to take some time to recover from this.
I tell you what, John, round number 11, and I can't split him in this round either. 1 minute 30 seconds to go in this round, and this round could be the decider on who wins this fight. How's this going to go as both guys trade blow for blow?
Toe-to-toe as we move towards the final minute. 4 minutes to decide what's been an absolutely fascinating world title fight. The styles have not always gelled, but it's been interesting. 7 inches, the shorter man, Nick Bull, lands a left jab. Just a pitter-pat right-hand lead from Figueroa. Good left uppercut from Bull. Figueroa gets inside, lands a right hand, and then Bull covers up as Figueroa comes close, lands a couple of shots to the solar plexus of Nick Bull, who gets his gloves up high into the final 40 seconds of this round as Steve Gray tells the Figueroa corner to keep the instructions down. Too much loud advice coming.
Yeah, you can imagine the emotions in that corner with how tight this is. 20 seconds to go. Round number 11. Another close round as Nick Bull slams out the jab, lands a right hand. Figueroa paws away with that jab and tries to come back.
Last 10 seconds of the round, and we're going to be going into the Nick Bull corner to hear the final rallying cry. He says something to Figueroa as he goes back to his corner, and now, with the music blaring, the crowd really need to rouse and raise their Liverpudlian hero.
Busting him up as he's walking forward, don't do that. But when it gets close, of course, don't engage, you know what I mean? It's the last round, but we're going to wait. Well, we're going to wait smart. We're not going to trade with him. We're going to catch him coming in, and when it gets tied up, we're going to walk him back and hit him on the out. You know what I mean? It's a great fight you're fought here for the head, in my opinion. But this round wouldn't be there. But this round as well. Just keep catching him coming in. The left boot, the feint, you know what I mean? Hard jab. Don't give him a chance to work inside, walk into it.
There you go, you heard it. So did Nick Bull, who's standing centre ring, waiting for Figueroa to get off his red stool in the red corner. The referee ushers his cornerman out of the ring, tells the two men to touch gloves. They do. 3 minutes now to decide it.
This could be where the fight is won and lost. I've got Nick Bull 1 round up. Oh, and he's been dropped badly. Nick Bull has been dropped on the face first.
He swung wildly. He was caught square and went down, and now the referee saying walk towards me. A knockdown that could decide it, and the Figueroa corner urging their man forward. The crowd have eyes down again. Down goes Bull for a second time, and it's all over. knocked out in the final round. There's boos, cries of disappointment from the Liverpool crowd, but fair play to Brandon Figueroa. Tremendous counter shot, which got the man down initially in that final round, and then, having got the opportunity, he wasn't going to let it go, and he's taken Nick Ball out spectacularly, slumped over the bottom rope, and there's a new champion from Velasco in Texas.
Well, what a night of boxing. We saw a dramatic turnaround with Andrew Kane and Gonzalez in the fight before that one, just before Jack Turner, and there we thought that Nick Ball may have just got his nose in front going to that final round. Dramatic knockdown where he fell face first to the canvas, and trust me, when a fighter goes face first on a canvas, it's very difficult to get up from that. He did get up, he showed his courage, his heart of a lion, climbed to his feet, but the knockout was a brutal one. Left hook landed and he went over the bottom rope, or under the bottom rope, and he was in a bad way. All hell broke loose after that one, John, and it seems to be a lot of emotions up in the ring still now.
There are a lot of emotions indeed, and they're trying to keep the lid on it. I think the Ball corner were unhappy at some of the celebrations going on in the Figueroa corner. But whatever you say about the aftermath and whatever happens in the ring from now, no doubting the winner, and he won it spectacularly.
Yeah, what a performance there from Brandon Figueroa. You have to give it to him. He dug deep, stuck in there, stuck to the game plan, as did Nick Ball. But like I said a little bit earlier on in the commentary, Gareth, I said Nick Ball was guilty of overthinking, waiting too long. And if you do that in fights at this sort of magnitude, at this sort of level, you can get found out, because everything is instinctive. You have to act instinctively, and Nick Ball sometimes was just pausing a little too long.
Yeah, but he went to the well tonight and he didn't have anything left. That was the thing, he was caught out there. I had him one round ahead going into that final round, and he was throwing his hands. The corner must have told him he needed to win that round to make sure, and he swung wildly and he got caught at him.
But listen, that was a very, very tight fight. We don't know how that was officially scored, do we? We don't know how it was officially scored. I agree with you. I do believe that Nick Ball, going into that final round, was one up. But you've got to take your hat off to Brandon Figueroa, right? The kid's come away from home, and he's absolutely put it on Nick Ball for a pace that Nick Ball's probably never, ever seen before in a professional ring. And then come out in the last round and gone for it, and gone to win the world title and left no doubts. Sensational from him.
Great work by Manny Robles in the corner, as I say, the man that masterminded the defeat of Anthony Joshua for Andy Ruiz. I think you've got to celebrate, as you say, he's become a three-weight world champion tonight and has left Nick Ball in his hometown, which he never would have wanted to lose in which he would have given everything in there tonight, which even makes it a great success for the Mexican-American.
Listen, it was an amazing fight. For those that are listening to the radio and obviously watching us along on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, it did spill over at the end. You cannot blame a team for winning, becoming world champion. You cannot blame that. At the end of the day, they probably felt that they were slightly behind on the cards. It's the 12th round. He's gone out and he has delivered a sensational knockout to become the world champion. Congratulations to Brandon Figueroa, as Nick Ball just walks behind me with his team. And the majority of his team did pile into the ring in the aftermath of those celebrations, because you can understand there's a lot of emotion connected to this. This is their boy. They love him. They want the best for him. And in the aftermath of him getting stopped by Brandon Figueroa, they did jump in the ring in order to confront Brandon Figueroa's team. It did dilute very, very quickly. It didn't spill over and get too ugly. There was a couple of things from the crowd getting thrown into the ring, but it did stop relatively quickly. But right now, you cannot take away from Brandon Figueroa. What an unbelievable performance.
And before that final round, he was told, and we heard it emphatically, don't go at him too much. Just to make it educated. Make telling blows. Don't go to him toe-to-toe. Now, that maybe was what Spencer said worked against him because he wasn't fighting instinctively, reactively. He was trying to measure his approach and make it a calculated assault.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. You know, I'm listening to John there and what he's actually saying there, and he's nailed it. You know, I think he was a little bit guilty of overthinking a little bit. I get what they were saying in the corner. I don't say let him come to you and, you know, make him pay the price. But let's hear what he's got to say here, Figueroa.
Well, we'll get Gareth Davis. He's with Manny Robles, who's on the ring apron right now.
I am in. Congratulations, Manny. You've masterminded a few defeats of Brits. I was mentioning the Andy Ruiz defeat of Anthony Joshua. That was an incredibly tough fight tonight.
Yes, it was. It was. It had to go until the very end, and we was expecting a very tough fight. Nick Ball's a hell of a fighter. He's a great champion, and he proved that tonight.
Where did you see the fight going into that last round? Because we were kind of, it was so hard to score. Maybe Nick was one ahead. Maybe your guy was one ahead. What were those final instructions for your fighter?
We had to finish strong. We had to take over in the second half of the fight. You know, we were not here. They weren't going to do us any favors. You know, we're on the B side. We understand that, and you got to do more to become a world champion. They did that tonight.
There was some commotion in the ring afterwards. One of the team was celebrating a little bit too hard. What happened?
It was a look. We apologize if anybody feels disrespected. My strength and conditioning coach, when he got up, got a little too excited, but he went to go say hi to his wife. She was actually standing on the other side. She wasn't waving on anybody. She was, you know, hey, his wife, and people took it the wrong way and felt like, you know, they felt disrespected, and I apologize for that. And listen, this isn't my first time fighting for a world title, and normally these type of things don't ever happen. It never happened to me. So if anybody feels disrespected, the fans, I've always said this. The UK fans are the best fans in the world, by far. The best boxing fans, they showed that tonight. They really support their fighters, and I commend them for that. And I have nothing but the utmost love and respect for the British fans.
A quick word on Brandon Lee Figueroa to become a 3-weight world champion now. Incredible fighter. How he squeezed that 5'9" frame into the divisions below bantam and super bantam, I do not know. But it was a clever performance tonight, and that punch output is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes. No, we obviously we worked for this. I mean, he was averaging over 1,000 punches in the gym and sparring. We brought a clicker with us, so we were, you know, taking we knew exactly where we were at. The strength and conditioning coach, as a matter of fact, was letting us know what we were averaging after every round, and we said we need to pick it up. We need to do more, especially going after the 6th round. We felt like he could take over. We felt like Nick Ball had his mouth open, had a busted nose, was grasping for air, so that was a sign for us to finish strong.
Was it such a good fight that we could see a rematch?
Absolutely. He gave us an opportunity. We would be more than willing to give him an opportunity.
Would he have to come to the States to do that?
No, that's up to the promoters. I mean, I don't make the rules. I follow the rules. So nothing but the utmost respect, and he definitely deserves for us to give him a shot. He gave us a shot. He deserves a shot himself.
Well done, y'all.
Right, I'm sure people enjoy the fight.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was amazing, so let's do it again.
It's always great seeing you, old legend. Cheers, thank you very much.
I appreciate the fans again. Thank you for everything in Liverpool, and it's just lovely to be out here, man. It's great, and obviously going home with the world title, it's special.
Classy guy, classy guy.
I'm just going to try and get Brandon on the way out here now.
Yeah, he's just having a couple of pictures there, but listen, awesome words from Manny Robles. Just class personified.
Oozes class, mate. Absolutely oozes class. You know, he sort of brought it down there, respected the fans here. Yes, emotions will run high like that when Figueroa's coming into someone's backyard. Never boxed outside of America before. All of a sudden he's here, picks up a world title again. It is actually still the 2nd-weight world title. He's three-time world champion, 2-weight world champion.
That's right.
Regained the featherweight world title there, but of course your emotions are going to go high, but he brought it back down there, showed the ultimate respect now. Everything about that interview was class.
And the performance was class as well from Figueroa, because early doors it looked like Nick Ball was going to have his wicked way. He was boxing very tightly, feet work was great. You've also got a sensational jab, and he was catching him beautifully with that lead left uppercut really early in the first 6 minutes.
You know what it is? It's like I said to you, like when you get to that stage of the fight, when you get in those penultimate rounds, 10, 11, 12, it does become a psychological battle as opposed to a physical battle. You've got to mentally stay switched on. You've got to stay focused. One little false move, and then That is it. But I think Gareth has caught up with Figueroa now. Gareth, over to you.
Que temporada increíble. What an incredible period in that fight for you in the last round. Speak to us about that fight, Brandon, and how special it feels to be a three-weight world champion.
Man, it feels amazing. You know, Nick Ball came to fight in front of his home fans. He had to give it his all. Nothing but respect for him. You know, he gave it all. He had a lot to risk. Man, I just left it on the ring, you know. I felt like I was dominating the whole fight. I felt like he was coming back in the middle rounds, but then I finished it strong.
Did you feel going into that last round then you didn't necessarily need to win, even though Manny Robles told me they wanted you to finish strong?
Yeah, you know, I felt like I was in control, dominating. I was pretty relaxed, calm, cool, collected. But he said, go out there and give him more, kid. And I said, all right, I'm gonna give him my all. And I caught him with that shoulder left hook and I hurt him.
Where do these incredible punch kind of volumes come from? Were you punching your way out of the cot as a child or something?
Yeah, you know, me and my brother, older brother Omar Figueroa Jr., we've always had a great engine. We work really hard, and I feel like that's where it comes, you know, working hard in the gym, mountain runs. My coach Manny prepared me to the best. We were throwing over 1,000 punches, sparring 12, 14 rounds even in the gym against tough opponents. Big shout out to Andrew Sosa and Veneno, my sparring partners, and I was literally throwing over 1,000 punches.
We were talking about Nick Ball winning tonight and chasing a fight with Noye Nui. Are you after that fight as well?
Of course, you know, the best of the best. I want the best of the best. Carrington, all the world champions at 26, let's get it, baby.
You broke some hearts tonight, heartbreaker. Congratulations on a great performance.
So thank you so much. Big shout out to the Liverpool fans. Nothing but respect to you guys. Nick Ball, once again, tough, great champion. And I just came out here and showed you guys what I'm about, and hopefully you guys fell in love with my fighting style.
Thank you, brother. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Brandon Figueroa, the new WBA featherweight champion of the world. A sensational performance, getting the job done in the very final round against Nick Ball in a fight that was so close. It could have been him up in the final round, it could have been Nick up in the final round. Either way, we don't need those judges. Whatever those cards read is now irrelevant because Brandon Figueroa is walking away with the strap.
Absolutely, there's a deserved victory. You know, he done what he had to do and he turned it around in the 12th final round, showed that he is that championship material. By the way, Guy Uzi's class, by the way, very infectious. It sort of grows on you, don't he? You come into someone's backyard, you show the ultimate respect. Yeah, you leave with a bling, but you show the ultimate respect in doing that as well. I love that, mate. That is what it's all about.
That's boxing, isn't it? That's what you got taught when you walked into a gym first up.
Absolutely. Sometimes people don't stick to those rules, though. That's the big problem in today's world.
It is lovely when you do see those rules, when you see two guys go at it, knock 7 bells out of each other, and then at the end, I know that obviously Nick Ball was knocked out, but then he took a couple of moments to get himself together. He walked straight over to the red corner, shook the hand of his opponent, and then showed the respect. And we've just seen the respect being paid back by Figueroa and Manny Robles.
Catman, can I tell you, do you know what it is? Only them two people
only they know.
Have shared that moment. That makes that special. That makes that a friendship like that, like a brotherhood. Because that you go through that. You don't know, like, when you're going through those 12 rounds like that, what you go through emotionally through those 12 rounds, how you have to psychologically talk to yourself to get yourself through the rounds. He's hitting you with 3 punches, you think, I've got to hit him with 4. I'm feeling tired. Well, he's got to be more tired, because I've left no stone unturned. The mental mind games that you play with yourself in there, you're both sharing that. So afterwards, when people go, I can't work that out, they've just knocked the hell out of each other, they've ripped their faces to pieces and they're cuddling. You go, how can you work that out? Because it's a gladiatorial sport, my friend.
The respect levels for both of those guys has gone up. I would absolutely pay to watch them do it again. Tonight, though, it is all about Brandon Figueroa. He got the job done. He's the new WBA featherweight champion of the world. Nick Ball will dust himself off, no doubt, and he will be back sometime soon. Make sure you tune in into talkSPORT over the next 24 to 48 hours for all the fallout from everything that you've just experienced here in Liverpool. Subscribe to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. We'll be there giving you the debrief. We'll catch you next time.